Sky Sports 2. Live.
Gig Lane, the strongest fortress in England. Not since Crystal Palace a whole year ago has a side left Bury victorious, and you have to go back another few months to find a defeat in the league. Last season, Ternent's men conceded fewer goals and won more games at home than any other team in England or Scotland. 2 years ago, they were in the 3rd division. Their aim for this campaign is to make it into the Premiership and so become the first club in history to achieve 3 promotions in a row. Tonight, their fans look forward to what they consider to be the most important match for years against big rivals Manchester City.
This is vital. This is life and death tonight. Absolutely life and death. It's probably the biggest match Giggs Lane's had for many a season.
Well, I think it's one of the biggest games for over 25 years for Bury, and hopefully they'll perform for the TV.
Oh, brilliant. It's like best match ever, you know what I mean?
It's massive. I can't really describe how big it is. I mean, we haven't played them for something like 33 years in the league.
Well, I think it's good. I mean, let's face it, 3 years ago, we got promoted on the Saturday, Man City got relegated the Sunday. We'd never expected to play Man City 18 months later, so tonight it's a big game, but, you know, on our march to the Premiership, you have to play these games.
Can Manchester City break into the fortress and escape with the points? Frank Clark will certainly hope so. Lee Bradbury will be praying for a goal. He's still to break his duck since the big move from Portsmouth in the summer. It's a big, big night for him. It's a big night for all these Manchester City players. Georgie Kincladze on international duty in midweek for Georgia. Very little time to recover. City will hope he's at full fitness, and Uwe Rosler could conceivably be playing his last game. He'll start on the bench. It's Bury against Manchester City, our Friday night football from Gig Lane, the first time for 31 years that they've met in the league. You have to go back to the 65-66 season when City won the 2nd division title for their last meeting. Good evening. Think of an awkward venue, Old Trafford, Anfield, perhaps Highbury spring to mind. But a trip to Gig Lane is currently the toughest proposition in football. Unbeaten at home in the league for 28 games, Ternent's side have an inner belief that Manchester City will do well to shake. Mind you, City did at last get their season on the rails at Nottingham Forest 9 days ago. With me tonight, 2 men who've worn the light blue and who know just how desperate the club is to win back its place in the elite. Paul Walsh, who's now at Portsmouth, and the Swindon player-manager Steve McMahon. Steve, it may not be City against United, but this is going to have a real derby feel to it, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's pride at stake as well, isn't it? Especially for Bury. You know, is it Bury or Bury? What do we say?
Well,
the supporters
you can say either, Bury or Bury, whichever you feel happy with.
Well, Bury. So it's very important for the fans, and you just heard them before the game there. They're wound up about it, aren't they? It's a big, big game, and as they said, for 25 years now they've been waiting for this.
Paul, how surprised have you been by Bury or Bury's success over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I've been quite surprised actually. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Bury, but what I've heard about them, they're very well organised, don't give a lot of goals away, and their home record speaks for itself. And it won't be an easy game for Manchester City, and you know, they've got a tough task on their hands tonight.
Well, let's have a look at the league table and see where these 2 sides are going into the match. Manchester City in the bottom half of the table, which will not please their supporters, but thanks to that 3-1 victory at Nottingham Forest 9 days ago, they have at least moved out of the bottom few. Bury, well, it's nosebleed territory for them at the moment, in 7th place, and a victory will take them above Swindon Town into 5th. Steve McMahon won't be terribly happy about that. Let's have a look at the Bury story so far this season. Bury signed 4 new players during the summer, starting with Tony Battersby from Notts County. Ex-Crystal Palace and Spurs star Andy Gray was brought in on a free transfer from Falkirk. 50,000 was the outlay for Burnley's Peter Swan. Brian Linegan was also picked up for nothing from Sheffield Wednesday. Out went Mark Carter on a free to Rochdale. Nicky Reed left for Sligo Rovers and Lee Bracey went to Ipswich. The first game of the season saw Bury take on Reading at Gig Lane. Stephen Swales opened the scoring after 13 minutes for Reading. But Gordon Armstrong came up with the equaliser. Three days later, Bury visited Crewe in the first round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Kenny Lunt put the home side in front. Bury quickly forced their way back though. Gordon Armstrong equalised from close range. A Ronnie Jepson penalty made it 2-1 to Stan Ternent's side. Sean Smith brought Crewe back into the match direct from a free kick. But David Johnson scored the winner. Next followed 2 goalless draws in the league. The Post and then a fine save by Dean Kiely kept them in this one at Stockport. Then a game of few chances against Charlton, which meant that Bury was still unbeaten. The second leg of the Coca-Cola Cup tie went the same way as the first. Lots of goals. Crewe opening the scoring through Mark Rivers. Only to see Bury go up the other end and score twice in 2 minutes. Andy Gray and then David Johnson with the goals. A minute later, Sean Smith netted to put Crewe back into the tie. A disaster followed. An own goal by Paul Butler in the final minute took the game into extra time. New boy Tony Battersby saved the blushes. He scored the winner from the penalty spot after he himself had been fouled. A trip to Molineux found the Wolves in great form. Goals from Tony Battersby and David Johnson weren't enough as both Steve Bull and Robbie Keane scored a brace. Bury then returned to Gresty Road, this time in the league. The result was the same, victory for the Shakers. David Johnson and then makeshift striker Peter Swan sealed the win. A home victory against Tranmere kept Bury in the top 7. Defender Swan again filling in up front to score the only goal. And a win today in the Greater Manchester derby could really make the rest sit up and take notice of Stan's Shakers. And here are Bury's vital statistics so far this season. Played 6, won 2, lost just the 1 at Wolves, drawn 3, and that heady position of 7th in the league. They've scored 6, they've conceded 6, and David Johnson and Peter Swan lead the way as far as their goal scoring is concerned with 2 apiece. We can now hear from the Bury manager, Stan Ternent. He's with Alan Bentley.
Stan, now daunting home records used to be the domain of the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United. How do you explain yours? 28 games unbeaten in the league.
I'm not quite sure, really. I don't know how we explain it. We're fairly well organised, and we've had a few breaks here and there. I suppose that's it. I never really thought about it that much, to be fair.
Now 2 promotions on the run. Do you feel though you've had enough credit for your achievements?
Yeah, we've, you know, I mean, we're a small club, so. But tonight we're getting a little bit of credit, but I think they're coming to see the Kincladseys and the Man Cities, but they'll see some of our players, and they're pretty good players.
Because I was thinking last season, despite winning the championship, none of your players in the Division 2 select, and you were overlooked for Manager of the Year.
Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
So yeah, so this is the biggest league game for years here. You looking forward to it?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it should be a smashing night, a full house, great for the fans, good for our players to test themselves against a side that, in all probability, will be there at the end of the season. So we're looking forward to it, yeah.
And a good derby clash in the rain coming down, just spice the pitch up a bit.
It's lovely, lights on, all the rest of it, you get great atmosphere.
And just before we finish, I believe you've got a message for your son, Stan.
Oh yeah, Daniel, ring your mum. He's gone to Spain on holiday and he hasn't rung her, she's gone mad. Get your mum rung, please, Dan. Thank you, okay.
Children, always a nightmare, aren't they? But he's a very quiet, unassuming man and arguably the most successful manager in the history of Bury Football Club. Steve McMahon, you're trying to do the business for Swindon, but what do you think the secret of Stan Ternent is?
Well, as you say, he's a very quiet, unassuming man. But I think speaking to Mike Walsh at our place, he knows that they work very hard in training. They're very solid at the back, and he must take a lot of credit for that, Stan and Sam Ellis. They are a good team, and they work very hard.
And I suppose, Paul, that success really does breed success. They've got so used to winning over the past couple of years, it just seems to carry on and on.
Well, that's right, it's a habit, and you know, once you get 3 or 4 games under your belt, 5, 6, you then when you go out home, you don't feel like you're ever going to get beat. And they've obviously got that attitude when they're at home, and it's gone on for a very long time, and that will be a tough thing to break down.
Not a lot of big-name players in the side, but David Johnson is a man who had a pretty good pedigree as a youngster. He was at Old Trafford playing for Manchester United, and he was actually on the bench during one of their European Championship matches against Galatasaray a few years ago. He's been scoring goals fairly regularly as well, Steve.
He is, yeah, he's a fit lad. He gets box to box, and that's his plus really, his energy. He's got energy to burn, and the way Bury play, they need the likes of him, and they've got now a bit of experience alongside him with Andy Gray. So I think they're well organised, and they're going to be a very difficult team to beat. They really are.
Well, we're going to talk a little more about Andy Gray later in the programme. One interesting statistic as far as Bury are concerned is that last season, despite getting promotion and winning the title, none of their players figured in the PFA Team of the Year. Now, gentlemen, I don't know quite how that can be. If you've stormed through the championship, surely one of your players must get into the representative team.
Well, that's right, you would have thought so, but it just shows that it's been a collective thing, a team effort. No outstanding individuals, but a great team effort by them all.
Well, perhaps the best-known player in the Bury team is Andy Gray, a former England international and a much-travelled man.
For I'm the type of boy who is always on the road. Wherever I lay my head, that's my home. That's my home. And I like it that way.
Oh, well, I've been, the last few years, I've just been living out of a suitcase and basically hotels.
So have boots will travel?
Yeah, yeah, for the last couple of years it's been that way, yeah.
It's been a real roller coaster of a career with 2 major regrets.
The fact that I had a chance to play for a club like Tottenham, and basically I went there and I wasn't right and I didn't do myself justice, so that will always linger with me for the rest of my life, that I had a chance at like such a big club and didn't do myself justice. And the other regret is the fact that leaving Palace, I mean, I should never have left that place, because obviously like that's where all my success came from. But like someone once said to me, like, the grass isn't green on the other side, but I think I got to admit that he's right, it isn't green on the other side. But such is life, you just got to do what you got to do.
And Gray's in no doubt as to where it all went wrong. His only England cap against Poland 6 years ago.
As soon as I got the call, at the time I suppose like I was one of the top players and I deserved it, and I had a million phone calls. Like for that 2 weeks the phone didn't stop ringing, and then when everything went like boss-eyed, the phone just stopped ringing, and I just think that affected me in such a way that it's taken me, I would say, 4 years to basically like really get that out of my system. I mean, my career just like nosedived. As soon as he took me off, in that situation, my career just sort of like went, bosh, it was finished. It was finished there and then.
Well, not quite finished. He arrived at Bury in July from Falkirk on a free transfer and still has ambitions in the game.
I would love to play for another 3 seasons, and I'd just love one more go at the Premiership. That would be the biggest thing I'd be looking for.
Interesting career, Andy Gray, and he could yet fulfil that ambition and return to the Premiership next season with Bury. I don't think anyone would have believed that a few years ago, but Steve McMahon, interesting to hear him say it all went wrong the night he played for his country.
Well, that's right, and I think it's very important what he did say. Probably his confidence was shattered. You're playing 45 minutes for your country and being hauled off, and it was a major blow to him. And I think Andy thrives on confidence. And at that moment in time, it was a low point in his life. And subsequently, he's gone on to other clubs. He put a lot of weight on as well. I think he put a stone or 2 on when he left the Crystal Palace, I think it was. He looks as though he's lost a little bit. But yeah, it nosedived very quickly for him, and I think he regrets a few things, as he says.
Paul, we saw a few of the clubs that he played for after that. Marbella must have been an interesting couple of years, then up to Scotland. But do you think that he has still got what it takes to perform at the very highest level in England?
It's difficult to say, really. I mean, he's at the latter stages of his career. He's at Bury, and it's going to be difficult. He's just come on a free transfer. It's always difficult to get out of a situation like that. But if he puts in some good performances and does well this season, and Bury do well, you know, who's to say what could happen? It's always possible, but probably unlikely.
Well, Bury are expecting a full house tonight, and they have some famous supporters in their midst, including Gary and Philip Neville, who of course play for Manchester United just down the road, and who are both fresh from their success with England in midweek. They're talking with our reporter Alan Bentley.
If we can start with you, Phil, how difficult was it on Wednesday given the circumstances?
Yeah, it was, especially early on, it was very difficult. It was, you know, very emotional. We was in the tunnel when the Elton John Candle in the Wind song was being played, and you could sense the emotion then, and then we walked out and the national anthem was played, you know, was sung as loud as I've ever heard it sung, and it was just difficult. The minute silence, you could hear a pin drop, and you know, I think the first 10 minutes it was hard, but then after that you just had to get on with football, and we did that very well.
Was it a night when perhaps the result mattered more than the performance, and to get 4 goals was just fantastic?
Yeah, I think we had to put on a performance as well. I think you know, the crowd got behind us really well as I've expected, and I think, you know, the 3 points were important, but I think we had to put on a performance as well.
And when did you know about the Georgia scoreline?
Well, we got on the bus to go to the Wembley about 6:15, and we knew the half-time score then, and we'd all gone out for a warm-up, and when we came back in, John Gorman was telling us all, you know, it was 0-0, and it just gave us that extra boost.
And Gary, how is the mood for the Italy game then?
Very confident, I think. I think beating them in the summer's helped us because, you know, if we'd just gone into it having not played them since the 1-0 defeat at Wembley, we'd have had that in the back of our minds, but now we know that we can beat them, and now they played their strongest team over in France, you know, whatever they say.
Now, moving away from the international scene, at club level, United flying, but arguably not at their best yet.
No, I don't think so. I think usually our best comes near the end of the season, but you know, we're going to have to start putting some decent performances together. We've got some decent teams coming up, especially in Europe.
Now, just quickly, I mean, I know what I'm like with my brother. Is there much rivalry between you two?
Not really. The rivalry is more off the pitch in terms of, you know, when we're at home, and it's not really, you know, it's up to the manager who picks the team, and to be honest with you, that's something that we can't get involved in.
Do you go along with that, Phil?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's away from football where we like act as brothers, really. You know, once we go into the club, I just treat Gary as another teammate, and you know, I think Gary said it all, really.
Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay.
The Neville brothers, and it's a real family affair at Bury because their father, Neville, works at the club, and so too does their manager. Neville is the commercial manager, so obviously they're big fans, and they'll be crossing their fingers tonight as Bury look to continue this very encouraging start to the season. Our reporter, Paul Mackenzie, has tracked down another Bury fan who's called Bury. Paul.
Thank you, Marcus. Here I am in a Bury dressing room with a very special young man. This is Jordan Edevine, who's 7.5 and is the club mascot for today. I've got Mum and Dad with me. Dad, how did Jordan get to be the club mascot today?
won a competition in local paper.
And you must be very proud of that because you're both Bury fanatics, yeah?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Now, you've actually given him Bury as a middle name. Why you call him after your favourite football team?
Well, we were looking for a name for him associated with Bury, and I didn't want to call him after one of the players because everybody does that. And so I thought, well, I'll call him after the club. I haven't heard of anybody doing that before.
Wow. Well, is there more in the family with Bury football names?
Yeah, my oldest son, Greg, he's named after Greg Farrell, former Bury player. Played in the late 60s.
All right. So, Mum, let's have a word from you. You're a Bury fanatic as well. You've got a funny story about your wedding day, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We came down here to watch the match. We didn't have an afternoon reception. We came straight down here. Unfortunately, the game was called off, so we had to go home and watch rugby on telly.
Now, this is a big game for you, your local derby. You haven't had one since 1966. Is the town of Bury very excited about it?
Very.
And you're ready for it?
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, let's bring you in finally. Let's get the final words from you. What's the score going to be tonight?
2-1.
And who's going to score the goals for Bury?
Tony Battersby and Andy Gray.
Well, listen, enjoy your day. You look splendid in your Bury kit. It's going to be a fantastic game. Back to you, Marcus.
Thank you, Paul. A fanatical Bury family. They've had plenty to smile about over the past couple of years. Those Manchester City supporters haven't had so much to get excited about. Big season ahead for all of them. Still to come before kick-off tonight. A look at Manchester City's troubled start to the season and the thoughts of their manager, Frank Clark.
This is Chris Evans for Sky Television on Sky Television.
The legends of rock are in town, and they're ready to party.
And here's the reason why.
Performing their biggest hits and gathering on stage for an historic jam session.
Elton John, Sting, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, Mark Knopfler, Jules Holland, Phil Collins, to name but a few. All profits from this unique pay-per-view event will go to the Montserrat Foundation.
Tuesday at 8 on Sky Box Office.
So, if you're watching, you're helping. I like that bit.
See music for Montserrat on Channel 60, an Astra 1D channel. To purchase this event, call 0990 800 866. Please check you can receive this channel before ordering. If you're watching, you're helping.
Bottle opener, welcome. This is the new drink called V2. Looks good. Which is why some amongst us are concerned you might buy V2 purely for the way it looks. This would never do.
Hi, are you chasing around after cheaper car insurance? Remember, the secret's not making lots of calls, it's making the right calls. Make sure Admiral is on your list. Call 0800 600 800. That's 0800 600 800.
Fill my eyes with that double vision. No disguise for that double vision. Ooh, I get my double vision. Oh, seeing double, double vision.
How does Billy get his plate down and still find out what's on telly? Well, some of these TV guides have just satellite or cable, some are strong on BBC, ITV and so on, but leave you wanting more satellite. Wouldn't it be great if you could bring the best bits together in just one magazine? You can! It's TV and Satellite Week. Loads of info on over 80 channels, including BBC and ITV. It's weekly, it's always bang up to date. TV and Satellite Week. Leaves room for Billy's plate and his lucky aardvark. TV and Satellite Week. Simple.
Admin are always on at me to liven up my advertisements for John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter.
They don't think it's enough to talk about its extra smooth taste.
Well, Broadway needs a bit of action, Jackie. They just don't get it, do they? Well, I told them straight. No gimmicks, no dancing ladybirds, and definitely no penguins. Just me in a pub with a pint of John Smith's Extra Smooth. Pure silk in a glass. So if this is a bit dull, you can blame me.
Cut it. That was nice, Jack.
So you're going to put the pub background in afterwards?
Yeah, that's right, Jack. Yeah, we're going to put it in later.
Spanish football coming up tomorrow night, live from the Nou Camp Stadium. Top of the table, Barcelona take on Deportivo La Coruña. That is Spanish football. Saturday night at 7 over on Sky Sports 3. Right now, we are building up towards Bury against Manchester City, our Friday night football from the Nationwide League at Gig Lane. Here are the head-to-heads. They've played 42 times altogether. Bury with 10 victories, Manchester City 21. 11 have been drawn. Bury have won only 1 of the last 6 and 2 of the last 14 league games. At Gig Lane, 21 matches played, and both have won 9 times, 3 draws. The last time they met in any competitive action was the 85-86 season. That was in the League Cup when City won 4-1 on aggregate. As far as the odds are concerned, Bury 13-8, Manchester City 11-8, and the draw 11-5. We can get the team news now with our reporter Alan Bentley.
Yes, thanks a lot, Marcus. And just to start with that major news, no Uwe Rosler in the Manchester City starting lineup. We'll have a look at them in a moment or two. First, let's have a look at Bury for you. Dean Kiely, he's in goal. 22 clean sheets for him last season, another 3 so far in this one. A couple of ardent Man City fans, by the way, Nick Dawes and Paul Butler, and the highly rated Chris Lucchetti. He's been Player of the Year for the last 3 seasons. 1 or 2 Premiership clubs are said to be keen on him. We've heard all about David Johnson, a couple of summer signings up front. Tony Battersby from Notts County and Peter Swan from Burnley. And Rocket Ronnie Jepson, he's on the bench. Moving over then for Manchester City. I'm telling Martin Marginson, who had a birthday in the week, he does keep his place in goal despite the fact that Tommy Wright proved his fitness for Northern Ireland in midweek. A blow though for City today, Ian Brightwell's ill. 19-year-old David Morley comes in for his competitive debut. Up front, the £3 million man Lee Bradbury still looking for his first goal. He'll plough a lone furrow. And George Kinkladze is fit after his trip home to Georgia for that clash against Italy. But just to reiterate the big news, Uwe Rosler only on the bench as he played his last game for the club.
Well, that's a question I'm sure a lot of Manchester City supporters will be asking tonight. What do you reckon? Everton, Steve McMahon, are supposedly very interested in Uwe Rosler. He's been umming and ahhing over his future for some time now, hasn't he?
He's been unsettled for a while. Reports in papers and television suggest that. And I don't think his form's what it should be, because he's a quality player. There's no 2 ways about it. Both Paul and myself have actually had first-hand knowledge of it. And he can score goals both left foot and right foot. He's quick. He scores good goals with his head. He's an all-round striker, I believe.
Well, Paul, another man who's been under pressure at Manchester City this season, your former teammate Lee Bradbury, yet to score since that big money move. I'm sure you feel just a little bit for him at the moment.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's bad enough when you're going through any type of run without a goal, but to have the added pressures that Lee's had with the price tag around his neck and trying to win over new fans, just adds to it. And you know, for his sake, I hope he just gets a goal tonight, just to ease the burden on him, really. Obviously, if City can pick up their form as well and win a few games, that will take the pressure off Lee a little bit. So a good run for City could help him out a little bit as well.
He's a young man. Do you think that perhaps he's moved clubs just a little sooner than was advisable?
Well, I suppose you could look back in hindsight with what's gone on in the early part of the season and say he might have been better left at Portsmouth for another season to really establish himself. But a lot of big offers coming for him, and you know, Portsmouth has sold him, and he's been put in a position now where he's, you know, he's obviously had a much improved contract, and he's got to live up to that responsibility now. But it's not easy.
So, early season problems for Lee Bradbury. This is Manchester City's story so far. City's first league game of the season was at home to Portsmouth. After going a goal behind in the opening 5 minutes, they came firing back. Uwe Rosler and debutant Gerard Beekins put them in front. But Pompey claimed his share of the points when Paul Hall equalised in the last 10 minutes. A disastrous start in the Coca-Cola Cup saw Clark's men losing away to Blackpool in the first leg. Andy Priest grabbed the only goal with 17 minutes to go. Peter Reid welcomed his old team to Sunderland's first league game at their new Stadium of Light. A bad back pass by recent signing Tony Vaughan allowed Niall Quinn, another ex-City player, to open the scoring. Alan Kernaghan was then sent off for a second bookable offence in the 26th minute. Georgie Kincladsey did equalise from the penalty spot after he'd been tripped inside the box. But goals from Kevin Phillips and Lee Clark in the last 6 minutes secured victory for Sunderland. City's second home game of the season saw Tranmere start brightly, but strong words from Frank Clark at half-time had the desired effect.
There's Warlock. Oh, what a splendid start to the second half, just 13 seconds into it, and Kevin Warlock launches a screamer.
City were unable to hold on to the lead, though, the visitors hitting back courtesy of a Lee Jones strike.
Yeah, we were poor up until half-time, but once we got the goal, I thought we played really well for about 20 minutes. As I say, created a couple of opportunities that Poppy might have taken, and looked in control of the game, but conceded a poor goal, and then lost control of it a little bit. You know? And then we changed it around a little bit, and I thought we got on top again in the last 10 minutes, but it was desperation stuff then, really.
With a bad start to the season in the league, City were desperate to reverse Blackpool's one-goal advantage in the Cup. Kevin Horlock scored 2 minutes from the end of normal time to level the aggregate, but there was a further twist in the tail after a goalless extra time period.
This can bring them level. He's missed it.
Lee Bradbury's crucial miss left Blackpool pinning their hopes on Mickey Mellon.
He's done it. Mickey Mellon has given Blackpool a place in the next round.
A trip to Alan Kirbishley's Charlton followed. New signing Beakins opened the scoring. But as the visitors looked increasingly content to sit on their lead, Charlton came into it, and in the 67th minute, Jason Van Blurk deflected a fierce cross into his own net. 2 minutes later, Charlton defender Keith Jones found himself 15 yards out with a ball at his feet, and he finished calmly to secure the points. 4 days later came an upturn in fortunes at Frank Clark's former club. Richard Edgehill, playing his first game after a 21-month layoff, set up Jed Brannan, who scored only his second goal since joining last season. His third and second in the game was provided by a pass from Kincladsey, Brannan with a spectacular finish. Kevin Campbell pulled one back for Forest, but it was too late to seriously threaten City. Paul Dickoff, a sub for Kincladsey, grabbed a simple third in the 88th minute. Clark and City will be hoping that's the turning point, but tonight is sure to provide another stiff examination for his would-be promotion contenders. And here are the relevant Manchester City statistics so far. Played 5, 1-1, lost 2, drawn 2, and 16th at this stage of the season. Scored 8 goals, conceded 9. Jed Brannan, somewhat surprisingly, and the summer signing Gerard Beakins lead the way on the goal-scoring front. Let's hear from Manchester City's manager, Frank Clark.
Now, Frank, the press have a habit of contorting things. What is the latest on Uwe Rosler's future?
Well, he's considering the offer we made him. We had talks with Uwe and his representatives last week, and he's considering it. I mean, that's not an important issue at the minute. The only thing matters is the game tonight.
But there were some strong words to me about if he doesn't decide by Monday, Tuesday, supposedly he could be on his way.
No, they were not strong words. I'm just stating one of the facts of life of football today. You know, when players get into the last year of their contract, especially foreign players, and they refuse to sign a new contract or an extension, then the club obviously has to give a thought to cashing in on the asset, you know, because he could walk away on a free at the end of the season.
That's right. Not a lighter note. Well, not a lighter note. Ian Brightwell out today. What's the situation with the youngster coming in?
Well, Ian's had a virus all week. He's not been able to eat for 4 or 5 days, and the doctor didn't think it was right for him to play tonight. So young David Morley will come in and play at the back in place of Ian.
Is he going to play centre-back or right-hand side?
No, I played in the centre with him and Kit in there. He's a big lad, so that'll help a bit tonight, we hope.
Now, Georgie had a bit of a long trip in midweek. Has he come back okay?
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, we don't know how tired it's left him, but he's a resilient little fella. He'll be all right. He didn't pick any knocks up, and he's had a couple of nights rest, so he'll be ready to go.
And if you watch Bury, what do you make of them?
Well, they're a very well organised side. Play to their strengths and play very well to their strengths, and they'll cause us quite a few problems. You know, it's marvellous what they've done here in the last couple of years with Stan and Sam, getting them into the first division, and it's going to be a difficult game for us. But we hope that we can provide them with a few more problems than they'll give us.
And the win at Forest, was that especially sweet for you?
No, the win was sweet because we'd gone 4 games without one, and the panic flags were flying all over the place in Manchester and in the media. So it was an important game for us to win, but it didn't make any difference whether it was at Forest or not, really. I mean, that's irrelevant. You know.
Thanks for speaking to us, Frank.
Okay. Well, Frank Clark knows exactly what is expected over the next 8 months or so. Steve McMahon, simple question really, are Manchester City good enough to get involved amongst the at least the playoff picture?
I think so, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think that the result of Forest has given them a big boost. Without that result, and I think they could have been struggling a little bit. But to go to Forest and actually beat Forest when you were flying high at the time, I think it's tremendous results, and that is going to kick-start their season, I'm sure it will.
A brief word about Kiely. When we had City on a little earlier in the season, there was mixed opinions. Some thought that perhaps he was just too much of a luxury in the first division. If you were the manager at City, would you keep him or sell him?
It all depends how much you got for him. But I think what's happening at the moment is that they're fitting a team around Kiely. And I think they're too big a club to fit a team around one player, and they're trying to accommodate him in different situations. And they've got to make sure that they get formula right. This is the way we're playing, instead of one man doesn't make a team.
Okay, one final question for both of you. Who's going to win, Steve?
I'll say Man City.
Paul?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Give us a margin.
2-0 City.
2-0 for City. 2 ex-City players are banking on their former side. We shall see. Waiting for us, as always, in their commentary position, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, matches of this quality used to come for Bury in the luck of the cup draw, but now that they're in the company of Manchester City and other big clubs, there's a real gritty determination to prove their worth. And Alan Brazil, this really is a big night for them, the Greater Manchester derby.
Yeah, there's a big following for Manchester City here as well. It's the Bury fans that are right behind us, you can hear. And I'm sure there's one or two of the Bury fans maybe support the other side in Manchester in different weeks. But City, huge following. Steve McMahon said, you know, the great result against Forest could really kick-start the season. Well, this is a tough test for them tonight. Can they spark into life again and really get moving up that table?
Well, with Dean West out for up to 6 weeks after a hernia operation, and with Rob Matthews, Dave Pugh and summer signing Brian Linnigan still injured, Bury were basically down to their last 14 fit senior professionals, and that was the 14 on duty for the victory over Tranmere. Added to the team that won promotion last season, Andy Gray reunited with Stan Ternent, who was one of his coaches at Crystal Palace, and Peter Swan, who's also played for Ternent before. Number 11, Tony Battersby, joined permanently in the summer after being on loan here last term.
Yeah, I think Bury this evening, Rob, they're probably going to play with 3 up front. Swan maybe just behind Battersby and Johnson. But where Bury are so strong is Kiely, Gray just in front of Luchetti and Butler. Luchetti, by all accounts, Premier Scouts looking at him, very talented. Dawes on the right-hand side, John Rose on the left. But watch for Swan trying to get forward alongside Johnson and Battersby.
It's a big night for defender David Morley, making his senior competitive debut in the absence of Ian Brightwell, who's been ill all week. City's other worries re-emerge from international duty unscathed: Kevin Horlock, Georgie King-Clancy and Lee Bradbury. But on the bench is still Uwe Rosler. No place for him in the starting lineup as speculation continues over his future.
Yeah, quite surprising really, but Frank Clark knows his stuff, and he said it wasn't strong words. I just basically said we can't have this uncertainty. Margetson, who performed very well the last time we've seen him. Edgehill returns on the right back spot. Simons and Morley making his debut, big night for him. Van Blerk alongside him. But City absolutely packing the midfield here. Vikins, Horlock and Brannan, they're the main three midfield players for Manchester City. Kinkladze, well, you know what I think of this guy. I think he's a genius. Watch for him on the ball. Will Berry man-to-man mark him? Remains to be seen. And Nicky Summerby bombing down the right-hand side to try and get the ball in for Bradbury, and let's hope he can get off the mark tonight.
Well, in the spacious area of the Gig Lane corridor, they're coming out into a wet night. It's been raining on and off, and there was a hailstorm about an hour ago. All set for the conditions as the crowd here make it a very intense atmosphere. In their recent ascent from the bottom division, Bury have made their home their fortress, but away from the pressures of expectation at Main Road, can Manchester City show that the result at Nottingham Forest was a genuine turning point? Bury against Manchester City coming up.
First direct. We never close.
Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Not going anywhere for a while?
Great googly moogly.
Grab a Snickers.
You spell it. Yeah.
Rings, you got rings. I've told you. Relax.
Okay.
That's great, big smiles. Thank you.
Bell's Whiskey. Every drop aged 8 years.
Hey, remember the great songs of the 60s? Songs about caring and communication and different kinds of people working together? Shut up! Well, forget it, pal. Those bands are ancient history. The ones that ain't dead ain't talking to each other anymore. Who's working together? Capitalists, that's who. Who's communicating? Business people. Get the flowers, pick up the software. Make money, not war.
The world's greatest secret agent is back.
Hello, hello.
Mike Myers.
Oh, behave.
Is Austin Powers, international man of mystery.
Tomorrow, Spike Lee mouths off about basketball, African-American culture, basketball, growing up in Brooklyn, basketball, his family, basketball, making movies, basketball, making TV commercials, basketball, racism, basketball, Malcolm X, basketball, Michael Jordan, and, basketball. Read exclusive extracts from his new book, Best Seat in the House, only in The Guardian.
One tournament in Europe brings 20 of the finest rugby union clubs face to face. One event in the Northern Hemisphere dominates club competition. And one sports network has unique coverage throughout. The 1997 Heineken European Cup, exclusively live on Sky Sports. Follow the teams round by round in the Ultimate Club Challenge. Continuing live this weekend, the Heineken Cup starts Saturday at 2 on Sky Sports 2.
We're all set to go. Bury hoping to improve on 7th place in the First Division. Manchester City looking to improve after that victory at Nottingham Forest last week. Let's rejoin Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
And from a World Cup qualifier to Gig Lane, Georgie Kinkladze's appearance in Georgia's goalless draw against Italy helped England's cause in the week. Now can he advance Manchester City's? Lee Bradbury was also on international duty for the under-21s against Moldova at Wycombe, saw just over half an hour's action, didn't score then, has still to score in competitive action in Manchester City's colours. He's playing up front on his own, which means more disappointment for Uwe Rosler. A possible decision about his future we hear next week. but he starts this game on the bench.
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy, does he? Good player, goal scorer, but sometimes, obviously, Frank Clark feels away from home, maybe a bit of a luxury.
Well, it's a big crowd here, a sellout crowd, and they've had to pack the Manchester City fans into either end. So, in both halves of this game, the visiting team will be attacking towards their own supporters.
I must admit, Rob, I've got a little feeling for City tonight. You know, Berry with this tremendous record, home record, defensive, superb. But I just feel if Kincladze weaves his magic, City could continue the run.
And tonight's match referee is the Preston-based official, Phil Richards, who's got a busy weekend ahead. He's running in the Great North Run on Sunday. He's been sponsored for a cancer charity after the loss of his wife Helen to the disease. Well, this proud, unbeaten home run that Bury are protecting faces a stern test tonight. In 28 league games, they're unbeaten here at Gig Lane, but Manchester City, by virtue of that victory at the early pace setters, Nottingham Forest, are hungry for another victory and get the game underway. And here's the man who could do a lot of damage to Bury tonight, Kincladze, if he is at all on his game. And he's seen plenty of the ball early on, giving and going with Summerby, but that's overhit for Nicky Summerby, who's already facing some early jostling with Andy Gray.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There was a few elbows flying about there. The ref just going over, having a little word, and that was unnecessary. Andy Gray was very angry, and there was definitely, well, there's a bit of contact there, and let's hope that's not what we're going to see a lot of tonight.
Johnson trying to get into the game and let Kit Simons know he's there. This is Nicky Dawes, losing out to his opposite number 4, Gerard Veekins. And pressure here already for Morley, and he did well to retrieve that. Battersby was lurking.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Bury are going to get at City, aren't they? They're going to pressure, close them down, hunting packs, and when they get a chance, they'll whip it in that box. Again, as the rain pours down here.
Well, it's an unwelcome enough environment for visiting teams without the rain coming down, as it is in droves again here, but as Andy Gray wipes the grease off the ball, he'll look to get maximum distance on this throw-in. And he really does propel it in there. Kincladze. He can expect the full treatment from the home fans. But he slipped a beautiful ball through and Gray's missed it. It's Nicky Summerby! And Gray showed great strength to get back at Summerby, but he's injured himself in the process.
That was a glorious chance for Nicky Summerby. He'll be very disappointed with himself. He'd made a great run. Kincladze had loads of time. Mistake here by Andy Gray, there's no doubt about it. But watch how he recovers. Summerby, I thought, should have got across him. But Gray, superb defending. And unfortunately gets clattered by his own keeper, Kiely.
Well, this is a very worrying sight indeed for Bury, because Andy Gray, since he came in on a free transfer from Falkirk in the summer, has really been one of the revelations, playing in the sweeping role, or certainly starting there. Stan Ternent, his manager, said it would depend how the match was going and how Manchester City lined up as to whether he would stay in that role. But his prime concern at the moment is whether he'll have Gray for the rest of the game. It doesn't look too clever for him at the moment.
Yeah, it was a last-gasp effort, wasn't it? Kiely was flying out. Somebody just hesitated. And let's hope Gray's okay for Bury. With this rain coming down, Rob, it's so difficult to surface. The ball will skid.
And the whipped-in corner headed clear. Summerby driving it again and then missing with his second kick. Jason Van Blurk. And this is Kit Simons. In slides Brannan and gets the throw-in off Ian Hughes. Jed Brannan. We've got 2 goals in that win at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, what a win that was for City. But they must follow up with something tonight.
Here's Van Blurk. Simons. And clearance by Butler. Kincladze looking towards Bradbury. Petty this time flung himself in the way.
I think what's interesting here, Rob, is Stan Ternent has decided not to man-to-man mark Georgie Kincladze. And we'll see if that's successful. I think maybe it's suicidal if he's in the mood.
Crossed by Van Vleut as well beyond Bradbury. Armstrong had enough confidence to let that one go.
Interesting game tonight. No, this great defensive run. I just wonder if Lee Bradbury's saying, right, this is a night I'm going to break my duck. He works tremendously hard. That's why he's in and Rosler's out. He puts himself about this fella, but boy, does he need a goal.
It's his 6th league start for Manchester City, and he scored on his 6th league start for Portsmouth. That was his first league goal for them, his first club, against Crystal Palace. Important that he breaks his duck soon, though, from a point of view of confidence.
Yeah, I think if Summerby's a good game tonight and Kincladze has enough of the ball, Bradbury will certainly get chances tonight.
Edgehill with the throw. Good to see him back after that lengthy layoff with serious injury. Kincladze. And the experienced Gordon Armstrong. Long spell with Sunderland. Got into the top division with them and was actually on their staff when they were relegated by Manchester City.
A lot of people feel Berry a little bit too direct. You know, they love to get it forward quickly, but you know, surely they can't get promoted again. You know, it'll be the first team ever to do it. And I think Stan Ternent, realistically, if they can stay in Division 1, it's a great achievement.
Clearance by David Morley. Just 19 years of age, Morley. He'll be 20 later this month. Massive night for him. Preferred to the experienced Paul Beasley, who is in reserve. Johnson taking a tumble. And Johnson and Summerby there again.
Yeah, Nicky Summerby again, and there was there. Johnson was certainly pressurised. I mean, let's have a look. Was there an arm up here? Summerby, now look at this. He can't get away with that. And Nicky Summerby, yeah, it's a derby. We all know that. But look at that. If he'd have caught Johnson in the face, I'm sorry. Look where the ref is. He's off.
Johnson. Edgehill this time went into the back of him. Johnson getting a bit of a battering early on.
Yeah, he was quick to close Summerby down, but he didn't expect the left hook took him out. The left jab, I should say.
Petty has gone forward for the free kick. Gray the taker. Operates on the attack. Johnson went for it, cleared by Edgehill. John Rose putting the pressure on Brannan.
Yeah, that was I'm afraid that was a little bit late there from John Rose. There's no doubt about it. He's caught Brannan just a little bit late going for the ball there. There was no elbow. It was a straight clash of heads. The ball goes high in the air. But watch this. Up go the heads. Bang. And Brannan comes off the worst. Gets to the ball first, Jed Brannan. But boof, clatters into him.
And with head injuries, it's right and proper that the physios are straight on, and the physios have been very busy men in the opening 7 minutes. But Andy Gray, who was treated on the Bury side, certainly seems to have shrugged off his injury.
Yeah, he looks all right. It's going to be an interesting contest. With Summerby trying to sprint forward at the as quick as possible to try and join Bradbury. And Andy Gray, I think he's in for a tough night.
Unfortunately, all seems well again with Jed Brannan.
The rain absolutely lashing down here. Yeah, winters here.
The slight direction is that it's blowing into City's faces. But just how much of a disadvantage that is remains to be seen. Morley. Too long for Summerby.
Yeah, a little bit local derby, and suddenly he'll be feeling nervous. Don't worry about that, the nerves will be jangling. He's a big lad, and I wonder if that's why Frank Clark thought, right, you play alongside Kit Simons to cut out Berry's aerial threat.
Well, of the teams that were promoted from the second division last season, Berry certainly seem to have settled quicker than Stockport and Crewe. They know how to look after themselves. If they win tonight, they could go into the top 5 of the very early league table.
Well, here's me saying earlier, surely they can't get promoted again, but who knows? Stan Ternent has worked miracles for this club.
It would be an historic achievement if they were to go from the bottom to the top in successive seasons. Swansea and Wimbledon both did it before. Another strong challenge which the referee is concerned about. This one has been committed by Peter Swan.
I tell you what, Phil Richards, he's letting this game go here, because I thought for sure a yellow card's coming here. I think it's a follow-through, but maybe the referee's deciding with all this rain that he slipped rather than meant to follow through. Personally, I thought Swanee was a little bit lucky now.
Here's Jason van Blurk. There's a little shove on Leketti by Lee Bradbury.
Yeah, he's a strong lad, Bradbury. Good upper body strength, puts himself about, but again, Phil Richards, the ref, right on the spot.
Berry's excellent run has been founded on very good defence, very solid defence. 8 clean sheets in their last 11 games. Speaks for itself. Johnson getting the flick. There's Peter Swan.
I just thought Swan there didn't realise the time he had, Rob. It was a nice ball from Johnson, drilled it in, and had Swan realised he was in open space, he could have taken a touch and perhaps spun on it. Look at that, no one near him.
Now by Deakins on Nicky Dawes. Here's Andy Gray with a free kick. And for the strength again of Swan, cleared by Edgehill. John Rose. Here's Leketti. Simon's coming across, but hasn't really dealt with it. Van Blurk trying to stick to his guns there against Johnson. Here's Dawes. He's looking to pick out Armstrong. Dangerous header back. Swan looking to nip in.
Well, no doubt about it. Swan is a threat, isn't he, with his aerial strength. And I just feel maybe Kit Simons has got to take the charge here and say to Morley, I'll mark, and you perhaps find the knockdowns.
A dangerous header there by Simons. It's Battersby. Swan couldn't really get enough on it. Simons with a clearance.
Yeah, good pressure from Berry. Kiely had a good touch early on in the match, but we haven't seen anything from the last 10 minutes. It's because of this Berry pressure, hunting and packed, getting the foot in. City can't find this little fella.
For a side built for around the £600,000 mark, Berry may have their limitations, but they have great spirit, great battling qualities, and great pressure here being applied. Swan, Battersby looking to get on the end of it. Simons between him and Johnson.
Oh, there's no doubt Berry are winning the 50-50s at the moment, Rob.
Butler, neatly taken away from Bradbury. Armstrong's header. Brennan really got in the way of his man Kit Simons there, but it worked out all right for him.
Yes, they've just got to calm it down a little bit. It's all too hectic for the footballing side. Berry are hassling, getting the ball forward quickly. City have got to calm it down and get the ball to feet.
Well, Mansfield were the last team to win here in the league some 17 months ago, April 1996. And since then it's been a very impressive run by Berry. Clearances towards Swan. Morley's tidying up.
Well, Ketty with a long ball there, read it well, but the ball was a little bit too long. But Bury play this way, even if it's not accurate, Rob. They like to progress, they get it forward, they chase after it, and like to progress. And then this fella here, Swan, he'll be looking for the ball in the box.
City have been on the back foot for much of the opening quarter of an hour. And Gray keeping them pegged back in and around the edge of their own area once more. Looking for Swan, but Simons flings himself in the way. Luketti. Here's Gray, 3 in the box. Johnson went for it, and it was a brave dive by Martin Margetson.
Yeah, I think that's a great save, you know, because Johnson got the other side of the City defence. And Margetson, had he taken his eye off the ball, don't forget the ball's wet, skidding off the greasy surface. But look at Johnson getting in there. Maybe a hint of offside, but I tell you what, the goalkeeper kept his eye on the ball. And that's a good, brave save from Margetson.
Margetson knew that had he spilled that, there were 3 Bury players in there who would have been only too grateful to pick up on the rebound. Johnson was the closest to the goalkeeper, but Battersby and Swan were also in there. Kit Simons. And Bloke. Too short for Horlock. And it's Gray. Ball had been run brilliantly for him by Hughes. Gray unable to provide the cross. Couldn't get past Kit Simons.
Yeah, try to get an early ball in there. Johnson again was at the far post. Gray spotted him, but Simons sticking to his task.
Now Gray trying his luck with a throw in from the other side. Aimed for Butler, but it's back out to Horlock. And here's Gray. Straight through Horlock's legs.
Tremendous skill there from Gray. I thought for a minute there he was going to stamp on the City Van Blair, number 3. But great skills from Gray. No wonder the home fans like him so much. Lovely little twist and turn, a little nutmeg to go along with it. Good skill. Now watch a little touch through the legs. Horlock can't do often. In comes Van Blart, and I thought Gray was going to just land on him there. Well done, Gray, pulled out of it.
No doubting the quality of Andy Gray. 1 cap for England against Poland in Poznan. And really surprisingly having reached the international pinnacle with his debut. It was after that that his career seemed to go downhill. Morley. Edgehill who's made the charge.
Yeah, I think the referee might be right here. The linesman was flagging. The simple reason there was I think Battersby was all over Edgehill, wasn't looking at the ball. The linesman was very, very quick to have the flag up there to point that out. Good break from Edgehill, good ball from Morley.
City players in the box, they're queuing up for it. Bradbury was amongst those in that cluster.
Yeah, any ball there, swirling wind here at Giggling as well. Look at that ball moving in the air. Now City putting a bit of pressure on Bury. I think Frank Clark's team talk must be, come on guys, you know they're going to be physical, they're going to be battlers. Let's match them for the battle and hopefully our skills will come through. If you don't match teams like this for the battle, they'll get on top of you.
Deakins, this is Brannan from Clancy. Just beyond Nicky Somerby. There were those who wondered about the wisdom of sticking Kincladze in after possible travel fatigue. Still really to bring his influence to bear on this game, and really Bury have thrown everything forward in this game.
Yeah, it's no surprise to me, Rob. You know, Bury have really pressurised City, but now City have weathered the storm, if you like. Let's see if they can get the ball down and play. horrible night here, you have to say. It's the wind swirling about, the rain bucketing down. I think the crowd are enjoying this one.
Well, it was a fixture they looked for as soon as the lists were published at the start of the season. Eagerly awaited game, almost treated like a cup tie. Ray with the latest free kick. And Margerson flamboyantly leading it.
He doesn't often waste too many. Shaking his head, disappointed. You've seen Kiely give the ball away twice, so don't worry, Andy.
Ray, who was playing in the Scottish Cup final at the end of last season for Falkirk. Beacons, Laketti.
City with so many midfielders struggling to get a hold of it. Well, Berry are certainly getting to the ball first, I feel. And the likes of Horlock can't really get forward enough. And Kiely, wow, great on the ball.
Kiely and Horlock were both away on international duty in the week. Horlock with Northern Ireland against Albania in Zurich.
I don't think we want you to mention that result, Rob. Very disappointing for the Irish.
Header was by Battersby. Morley to Van Blurk. John Rose. This is Ian Hughes. Vikins tussling away with him.
It's interesting, me, Vikins, a Dutchman here. I didn't think he would relish the physical battle. I thought he was more of a player. But he's rolled his sleeves up here tonight. He's got a few crunching tackles in. Showing he's got a little bit of steel.
For all of the foreign imports, this is a real welcome to English football tonight. The rain lashing down on the facilities here at Gig Lane. Neville back across with Laketti, and the goalkeeper came through the crowd. It's cleared by Horlock in the end. Gray urgently taking over from Armstrong, looking for Battersby. Edgehill was there.
Yeah, the ball again held up in the wind. You're talking about the weather, Rob. If you're going to come to Gig Lane, it's best to come this time before Christmas. You won't be able to come in here in January, February. This is like a summer's day to believe what it can be like. Is that sleep?
Not a pleasant evening. There's Johnson. Gray. He's hit it in low and Swan couldn't be very far away from it.
He's disappointed again, Gray, but I think City have got to start closing down a little bit because they know Berry's game plan. As soon as they get a chance, they put it in the box. So City's midfield have got to work and close them down.
Edgehill. Sliding tackle was from David Johnson. Edgehill, who made his return against Nottingham Forest with his 50th league appearance for Manchester City. And his return very much well-timed with Ian Brightwell out ill and Tony Vaughan having injured ankle ligaments in a reserve match.
Well, let's get forward quick. He'll be delighted to be back on the side. I just wonder if this Berry pressure, they're going to sneak one before half-time, Rob. Continuous balls in the box. It just needs to fall to a white sharpness in the back of the net.
Harry Neville watching and wisely taking cover. Johnson. Brannan hitting it against David Johnson, who's a former Manchester United player and played with Gary Neville's brother Phil in the youth team.
What card? Showing a bit of threat as well. Goodness, your brother, mate.
Johnson didn't make a senior appearance for Manchester United, but he was part of that FA Youth Cup winning team back in 1995. is Simons. Orlock again. Van Vleck had stayed onside. Kiely. Now we're going to see some magic from him. Always capable of prizing open the most solid of defences, and Orlock just unable to fasten onto it.
Yeah, George, he's just waiting for a run there. You know, come on, someone give me a bit of movement. Orlock gave him it, but the ball wasn't good enough.
I wonder if that was just a little teaser of what's ahead from Georgie Kinkladze.
Oh, that's where he loves the ball, Rob. Anywhere around that 18-yard line, he weaves his magic.
Morley. Bradbury immediately under pressure from Armstrong. Here's Vikens. Kinkladze again. This time it's Butler he's taking on, and this time he's got the cross in. Now can Bradbury turn? Brannan.
Good defending again from Berry. Really hard to get back in numbers, Rob.
Dawes it was who made the challenge. Vikens. Orlock had made a run along the line. He was aiming it to Bradbury though. Leketi was there. This is Simons. City have been, over the last few minutes, gradually asserting themselves, but that was a great challenge from Swan to win possession back.
A little bit disappointed with Lee Bradbury at the moment. He's hold-up play, Rob. He's up there on his own, and you really have to hold the ball up and give your midfield players a chance to come up. But at the moment, his touch is letting them down. He's losing possession too easily for me.
He's used to ploughing that lone furrow. It's a role he fulfilled to good effect against Nottingham Forest in the victory in the last match. Foot of Kinkladze was a little high there on Andy Gray, and it's punished.
Yeah, I don't think he realised Andy Gray was so close to him. Kinkladze there, but Gray quickly onto the ball there. Good flick from Bradbury this time.
Here's Gray with a free kick. No, he's going to leave it instead to Dean Kiely. So everyone except Kiely now in the opposing half. Over Butler, but Swan got a touch to it.
Yeah, someone's got to sort out Swan. Swan, I think, out of maybe 4 or 5 headers, I think he's not lost one. So I think Simons and Morley have got to get to grips with him, because it just needs a little flick on, and the likes of Johnson getting on the end of it. This time, he couldn't direct the touch on.
Scored in the last 2 games as Peter Swan against Crewe and Tranmere.
They've got to keep battering away, pounding away at City. If City start to settle, knock the ball, the confidence grows. They go searching for a goal. I thought that was a bit high.
There's Leketi, who was the offender, and Bradbury, who felt the full force of it. Yeah, on the shoulder.
I don't think there's any arguments here. There's no doubt about Leketi. He goes, he tries to, but you know, that's almost down his neck, isn't it? And it's a bad place to give a free kick away, and that's dangerous. He definitely catches Bradbury. And what can Kinkladze do with this one?
Well, Chris Leketi has got away with a warning for that challenge, but now Kinkladze trying to weave his way through once more. Giving Dawes the run around, but then playing it too short for Somerby, and Johnson stole in.
Well, I thought Kinkladze was going to flip it in the box there. Just run out of options, give it back to Somerby. Somerby had no call from a teammate, man on.
Vikens. Butler with a clearance. Here's Brannan. And this is a useful break from Van Vleck. Butler sliding in.
He's a bit unlucky there, isn't he? He's always going to get the ball first. I think he's lucky to get a corner here, by the way, Van Vleck. Because I think Butler comes over here and gets the ball back off Van Vleck.
Somerby. Every time a City player gets to it, an opponent is across so quickly to close them down. Marshall there resources so well. Here's Kinkladze. Plenty of players in the box for Brannan, and he's got it across. And there was a free header on for Morley. Had it just been at the right sort of height for him.
He's quite a tall lad as well. He stayed in the box. And to be honest, that's a let-off for Berry. Just slightly overhit. But look at Morley. Nobody is marking him. And Stan Ternent will be disappointed.
Unusual to see so much freedom for an opposing player in the penalty area for Berry. City really, after a shaky start when they were put under a lot of pressure, have gradually started to assert themselves in this game. They've drawn a bit of the sting. They're making some promising openings. Horlock whipping this one across. Good safe handling by Kiely.
Yeah, it had to be, because Vikens was powering in the box and Summerby also was at the far post. Good goalkeeping.
Just sense that Berry have lost a little bit of the initiative that they had in the opening 20 minutes or so. Dawes. Battersby. Up there ahead of Van Blurk. Swan has made the run. He's left it open for him. Morley was struggling to get back, but did get back in the end.
Well, half a Giggs Lane was saying, go on, strike it, hit it with a left peg. Just overran the ball.
Horlock. Gray's header out. City throw.
Yeah, City are growing in confidence here. Berry, the long ball game, you know, they look for the early goal. It hasn't happened, and City now beginning to look more comfortable.
Clancy. Vikens. Simons. The two, David Morley. Van Blurk. Brannan made his run belatedly, and John Rose have gone with him.
Yeah, one or two of the City midfield players have got to start taking chances, Rob, and getting forward. There was a lovely space in the gully, and eventually, you know, Horlock gets over there, and Brannan's trying to get forward, but someone's got to make an early run to expose in behind the Berry defence.
Frank Clark making notes for half-time, no doubt. Be a little more encouraged by his team's performances. Certainly after the Forest game, they were on a high, and Clark himself never lost confidence, even during that dodgy opening. Didn't want all the good pre-season work to go to waste, and he has really introduced an element of stability here to what was a very unstable club last season.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get, you know, we keep saying it's early days yet, you know, 6-7 games gone, but there's a bit of a gap opening up at the top there, and City can't afford to let it grow.
Well, City last won promotion from this division back in 1989, and they didn't win in their opening 4 games then, just as they didn't this time round, but then they embarked on a 5-match winning run, and they'll be hoping for something similar to really propel themselves into the frame. Morley. This is Bradbury. Edgehill. Vikens. This is Van Blurk. Johnson came back, and the referee was quite happy with the challenge he made on Jason Van Blurk, who's done well to win it back and find Kincladze. Summerby waiting at the edge of the area. Bradbury at the edge of the 6-yard box. The challenge was Andy Gray's.
Yeah, good challenge as well from Gray. You know, Stan Ternent's obviously said when he gets the ball, you can't dive in. And Gray jockeys him superb. And there goes the challenge.
The goalkeeper came and didn't get there. Lee Bradbury. Shot blocked. This is Summerby. Berry piling bodies back to get that one clear, but Gray has given it away again to Edgehill. Horlock to Brannan. He's away from Gray, but just when he thought he'd shaken him off, Gray is there. concedes the corner.
Good play from Brannan as well. Brannan was the one who won the ball. The goalkeeper came. Brannan headed it down. It gave Bradbury just a half chance.
And I'm looking to get underneath it. It skims. Well, it seemed to skim off Lenny John Rose's head, but the referee's given the goal kick.
Little smile there. Again, the wind playing its part. Look at curling the ball. The referee was right in the spot, so he felt it certainly came off a City player, but you can see clearly that should be another corner. Berry have gone a bit quiet now, Rob. City more possession, pushing forward, more eager.
Eakins. Edgehill. Somebody just couldn't get there. Armstrong did. Simons, no chances being taken by him. Nationwide League football coming up for you this weekend. Birmingham against Sunderland, a clash towards the top end of the table. Sunday at 12 noon on Sky Sports 2. Followed by the Premiership action in Super Sunday. Blackburn against Leeds on Sky Sports 1 from 3 o'clock. Johnson's cross. Butler. Simons. Bradbury. Challenging by John Rose. Bradbury will give chase for it. Kiely was always the favourite to get there, though. And the flag raised very belatedly, which is the cause of the anger.
No, it's a highly charged game at the moment. Thunder and lightning all around us as well, even though the rain has stopped now. Just across over that stand, the Pennines, but the linesman, he's adamant. Forget it, guys, that was offside. And the boos ringing out.
Well, they've got all methods of keeping dry on a night like this, and that's one of the less orthodox ways. Looks a bit like you, Alan.
I don't believe it. I'll tell you what, you're getting a bit cheeky lately.
Here goes Battersby. Johnson making a surge into the box. Can he go long? Off the post! Best chance of the game so far, falling to Tony Battersby, and he made it and almost took it himself.
Well, 10 minutes ago, he was in the same position, wasn't he, on the left foot? He delayed it, he didn't let go. But this time he lets go, and he's very unlucky. That was almost the opener. Very unlucky from Battersby.
Edgehill, Kincladze.
Tell you what, Rob, I wasn't sure Margerson had it covered either.
It looked as though it could sneak in at that post, but Battersby's shot just coming back off the woodwork.
Yeah, Margerson, maybe, I'm sure he's disappointed with the room Battersby had coming in field again.
Oh, that was a risky back header from Morley with Battersby there, and Swan couldn't force his way through. Battersby's shot, though, still the closest that either side has come to scoring. The one that hit the woodwork.
Yeah, he's unlucky here. Comes inside lovely, gets it on the left foot. This time lets fly. And I tell you what, I think that had Margerson beat just about 17 yards out. Not the greatest of strikes, but that's unlucky. That can easily have slipped in.
Well, the game has swung this way and that, and at the moment it's Bury ending the first half the stronger. Kincladze. Ray really hasn't given him much room. Leketti, well won by him, that's Dawes. Van Blurk.
I tell you what, Van Blurk there. I can't believe how many defenders let a ball bounce like that. You've got to get to it first. This time he gets away with it. As soon as that bounces, it gives the forwards a great chance.
Dawes. Morley in the way. There really has been a fairy tale rise for Bury under Stan Ternent. 2 years in permanent charge next Thursday. The team were in desperate straits really when he took over, but they've had 2 promotions since.
Yeah, Van Blerk's angry here, Rob. He feels that Battersby ran into him. Battersby claiming there was a contact. There was a bit of tugging and pulling, wasn't there? But there. And the ref's giving it, along with his linesman. This is danger for City again, an aerial threat.
Swan will be a massive threat here. Gray's free kick is a deep one. Well, it was Armstrong's header, and all it needed was a touch from Swan, who was in there.
Yeah, Armstrong at the far post there rises well, doesn't he? I think it's Morley who just can't get off the ground. Armstrong gets a leap first, and that's a good header.
And there's another injury problem here. It's Kevin Horlock for City who's limping.
Yeah, I'm saying it was Morley there, but I think it's Horlock who got underneath the ball. And I thought Armstrong, that was a good header, just needed a touch on the end of it.
Margetson continues to hold off Tommy Wright, who's only just back after injury, but was with Northern Ireland in the week.
I've been impressed with this guy, Margetson.
Been on City staff a while, but has had to wait a long time for his opportunity. Edgehill powerfully making the case and finding Kincladze. Bradbury's in the box. Beacon's supporting the attack. Kincladze curling it towards Bradbury, cleared to Beacons.
That's a nothing ball from Beacons, absolute nothing ball. When the ball came back to him there, I thought he's going to whack this. As soon as he take a touch, he's always going to be closed down, but again the pass was way off target.
Armstrong. Morley. Horlock was under pressure from Hughes, snapping away behind him. Swan's touch. Here's Edgehill. Summerby. Blocked by Gray. Here's Van Blerk. Jed Brannan. Kincladze. Brannan. Away from Gray. And the shot deflected off Nketiah.
Yeah, deflected shot from Brannan, good skills again. Getting a little nutmeg in. Suddenly decides, right, no one's closing me, I'll strike it. It hits Nketiah, and the keeper got down smartly to touch it round.
And Summerby whips the corner in. It was a tricky one. Beacons off the line! Beacons denied by a goal line clearance, and then Kincladze fouled.
I don't know why the Bury fans were up in arms. Look with the ball. When Summerby took the corner, the ball again wasn't in the arc. Off the line. Goodness me, there'd be some argument if that had gone in. We saw Kincladze do it a few weeks ago.
Summerby it is who whips in the free kick, cleared to Kevin Horlock, who can hit them. And he tried to hit that one through the crowd, and the crowd just took the sting out of it.
Yeah, came off Swan. Swan was the blocker. But as you said, Horlock can hit them. But Manchester City, I don't know why they do this. When they take corners, they always seem to just move the ball out of the arc. And the Bury fans were disgusted.
They were almost disgusted again there when Beacon's handball was about to go unpunished. But the assistant referee drew the referee's attention to it. Beacons, who has been the closest Manchester City player to breaking the deadlock with that effort.
It really is a seesaw of a game. Either way this could go.
Gray. John Rose. Van Blurk. Beacons. Horlock hitting it against Armstrong. Johnson could be through here. Morley tried to force it wide. He's still got the shot in.
That's a good right-handed save. Goodness me, strong right hand there from Margetson. Johnson again, he's a thorn in the side at the moment, but Margetson down to his right-hand side. Quality save. Good closing again. The ball fell with Johnson. Right foots across the goal. There's a strong right wrist. Good stop from Margetson. City again, just caught napping. Good strike and a good touch.
The goalkeeper at full stretch, turning away Johnson's shot. Swan up for the free kick. Hughes. In comes Brannan. Hughes just couldn't bring it under control.
So you've just got to calm down again there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mind you, it's upsetting rule. Goalkeepers just can't relax now, can they?
Real harum scarum stuff at the moment.
It's a good finish to the first half from Bury, the home side.
John Rose looking to pick out Battersby. Van Blurk is across with him. A strong Peter Swan in the box if he can find him. Too short for him, Edgehill clears. And Margetson can't save the corner.
I think Edgehill's there saying to Van Blurk, come on, close him down. Don't give him time to get the cross in. The defender, he's too far away. He's 2 yards away from Battersby. Got to get closer and stop the service into the box.
And a minute into stoppage time, Bury's first corner of the first half could well be their last opportunity to break the deadlock before the break. Swan the target, and a missed kick by Simons that put the goalkeeper under pressure, and they're all in there battling, trying to force it in. And Margetson was bundled into the back of the net.
Well, the fans around us were. They'll try to suck that one in. That's a good header again from Swan, isn't it? This is a bad clearance. Up in the air from Simons. Let's have a look. Margetson comes. There's the challenge, and the arm was all over Margetson. The referee's dead right. And ends up in the back of the net for his troubles. Good header again from Swan. But Simons with a bad clearance. And the goalkeeper certainly was fouled.
Armstrong it was who was applying that very strong pressure. He saw an opportunity, didn't get the ball in the net, but did get the goalkeeper in the back of the net.
Just thinking now, Frank Clark at half-time, will he change it? Bradbury up front has really been struggling to hold it up, and the City midfield have been slow to go up and help him. I just wonder if he's thinking, okay, do we go for another 15 minutes into the second half, or do we push someone up alongside him? Maybe Rosler will get his chance.
Well, only a few more minutes of deliberating, and wonder if we will see Uwe Rosler come on at some stage in the second half. And there goes the half-time whistle. Bury 0, Manchester City 0. It's a game that has all the elements. Tony Battersby having hit the post for Bury with a real strong opportunity. Gerard Beacons having Manchester City's best effort with a shot cleared off the line. David Johnson forcing a good save from Martin Margetson in a strong end to the first half from the home team, but it's 0-0 at half-time.
It says choice. The Escort as hatchback, saloon, estate, 1.6 or 1.8.
Impossibly diverse, yet brilliantly.
One single price. Escort. The choice is yours. The price is the same.
Hello?
Yes. It's about your hotel.
The brochure said it was a stone's throw from the beach.
And it isn't.
No, it isn't.
Ever felt misled by some holiday brochures? At Thomson, what you see in our brochures is what you get, or your money back.
goes in.
Time was when the only form of digital imaging worth contemplating was created by human hand. That was then. With the Officio range of digital copiers, you can copy and manipulate images to your heart's content, and scan, print, duplex, sort, collate, and staple documents simply by using your digit. Officio, digital genius, from Ricoh.
I'm out of here. Red Bull gives you wings.
Feel the energy. Adidas.
The art of minimalism. It clearly says, buy a Ford Escort now. And this is the interest you pay. And this is your first year's insurance cost. So minimal, you'll wonder if it even exists. Escort. 0% finance and free insurance.
More Heineken European Cup rugby coming up on Saturday as Harlequins take on last season's French champions Bourgoin. That's live from the Stoop, Saturday, 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. Half-time at Gig Lane, it's Bury 0, Manchester City 0, very wet, but a fair few incidents as that first half drew to a close. Here are the match facts. No goals, Manchester City just edging it in terms of attempts on goal. But Bury have had more on target. 5 corners to 1 in City's favour. It's been highly charged, but no bookings in the first 45 minutes. Level pegging as far as the attacking third of the field is concerned, but look at the possession, 60% to Manchester City, which is perhaps just a little bit surprising. One other nationwide game tonight in Division 3 at half-time. It's Colchester 0, Scarborough 0. Scarborough could go top of the table if they win tonight. Typical derby match. Plenty of incident in the closing stages. Steve McMahon and Paul Walsh, former Manchester City players, have been watching the first half with me, both predicting a Manchester City victory at the halfway point. Steve, are you still going for City?
I think I am, yes. I think it's been a great contest. All credit to Bury for half an hour. They stuck at it and they've worked tirelessly. So I'm just edging for City, yeah. I think after a bit of possession, and if Bury can work as hard as that, then I think the chance will come maybe the last 15-20 minutes for City. So
well, perhaps the best chance, Paul, of the first half fell to Tony Battersby, and he was just the width of a post away from putting Bury in front. He'd had a chance a little bit earlier, hadn't he?
That's right, he just got the wrong side of, or the right side of Van Blert there. Drags it inside and makes half a yard for himself, and has a decent effort at goal. And I think if that had been 6 inches more to the left, that would have gone in.
Keeper was beaten, wasn't he, Steve?
I think he was.
He's beaten, but I think if Morley, he won't be happy with his defending. I think because Morley's got to cover Van Blek, and okay, he's done a little trick, but I think Morley should have been across to maybe give him support on that occasion.
He's only 19, David Morley, making his debut. How well has he done so far?
Well, he's done very well for a youngster. I think in the derby atmosphere as well. He's come out with a lot of credit.
Well, another near miss as far as Bury were concerned belonged to David Johnson, and this time the goalkeeper does very well. Paul.
Yeah, that's it. He's gone for the far post. You know, there's no one in the box for him to pick out. He's had a great strike, and Martin Markson's made a good save, turning it around the post.
We mentioned Johnson before the game. Gerard Vikins for Manchester City almost did a little bit better than that, and some good defending coming up from Peter Swan, who must have seen this quite late, Steve. He hits it pretty well too.
He does, yeah, but it's great defending. You know, look, there's not only him on the line, there's 2 other players as well. What they've done, the keeper's got licence to come for it, and everybody's like defended the goal behind them. and it's great defending. It's hard for him to put it in the net with 3 on the line there.
The two Manchester City players we pinpointed before the start, Paul, were Kiely and Lee Bradbury. Bradbury desperate for a goal, and he hasn't really had a sniff in the first half, has he?
No, but I mean, one of Bury's fortes really is their hard work and the aggressive way they play the game. And they're right on top of not just Bradbury, but the whole of the City side, especially in the first half an hour, and they've made it difficult for everyone all around the pitch. So it's not been easy for him to get space and do a lot with the ball when he's had it. But I think he's got to try and hold it up a little bit better if he can, and start to look for chances when he gets in the box.
It's difficult, isn't it, with one striker? You know, when you've got Kiely flitting in and out of the game, and it's very difficult for Bradbury on his own up there against such a strong defence as Bury.
Well, it's perhaps all set for Uwe Rosler on the bench, maybe playing his last game for Manchester City tonight. How he would love to come on and get the all-important goal.
Well, the script is there, isn't it, for him to do that? But I think they should do. I think they should help Bradbury and go with a 2 up front. And
so if you were Frank Clark, you would definitely go to 2 strikers at the start of the second half.
Well, that's what I would consider doing. Yeah.
Okay, well, you've got every reason to be listened to, because Swindon are 5th in the table, so we'll listen to your words. Paul, what about from a Bury point of view? They were under the cosh in the middle period, but as we saw, they came back strongly in the closing stages, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. They had a good last 10 minutes and had a couple of efforts on goal. The hardest part for Bury is to keep their work rate going, their commitment right the way through the game, and making it difficult for City to play. But if they can keep that up and keep making it hard for City, then they've got every chance. They've had their fair share of efforts on goal, and if one of those goes in, who knows?
So 0-0 at half-time, but you get the impression there will be goals in the second 45 minutes. The supporters look to be enjoying themselves. They're getting very wet, but they've had plenty to shout about, and I suspect they'll have plenty more to get excited about in the second half.
Who would I most like to have a one-to-one with? An astronaut, Yuri Gagarin. I'd want to know what drove him to sit in that tiny cockpit on top of what was little more than a giant firework, not knowing if he'd ever come back. He was up there for only 108 minutes. It must have seemed like years. If I could have a one-to-one with Yuri Gagarin, I want to ask how he felt about being unknown one day and next morning being the most famous man on the planet. When you've seen the world totally at peace as he did, how do you come to terms with the fact that it isn't?
Who would you most like to have a one-to-one with?
Man United leading 1-0 here in Italy. Here's Ravioli. Foul! Schmeichel's injured. The new boy's taking over. Ta-da! Gloves?
Who needs them?
Ravioli. What a save by the Honey Monster! United win!
That's football, Luigi. And this is Sugar Puffs.
Sugar Puffs are monstrously delicious puffs of wheat dressed in little honey jackets.
Hey, Monster, where's mine?
I'd save some. You're dropped, Pete.
My dream date would be Luke Perry. We'd go to a really lively, friendly place for a bite to eat. No, make that dinner. We'd have one of those sensational new Pizza Hut Sicilian pizzas.
Great.
It's the only one with oregano, basil and garlic baked into a tasty square base. On second thoughts, forget Luke Perry. And bring me the bill.
New Pizza Hut Sicilian, a dream of a pizza with oregano, basil, garlic, and corners.
Pressure. How you handle it affects the balance of a game. Beating the pressure can mean tipping the scales in your favour. Let it get to you, and the scales will tip the other way. Fortune's changed like that in the Ryder Cup. It happens every other hole. That's why being part of Europe's Ryder Cup team, playing in the USA, is a responsibility and a joy.
The Johnny Walker Ryder Cup, sponsored by Ford, coming soon to Sky Sports 1.
Saturday nights are fight nights over on Sky Sports 1. This week, live from the London Arena, Jeff McCreesh defends his British welterweight title against Paul Scrap Iron Ryan. Saturday night, 8:30 on Sky Sports 1. Half-time at Gig Lane, it's Bury 0, Manchester City 0. Bit of a scrap in the Greater Manchester derby. Now, Paul Walsh, you were saying before the game it was going to be 2-0 to Manchester City. Do you want to bring that margin down just a little bit?
Well, the way things are going, I think I might just bring it back to 1-0 at the moment. But as Steve just said, it might be able to, you know, once they get one, it could go and, you know, roll on from there. You just don't know. The game could unfold if one goes in for either side, really.
First goal should be crucial. City had a bright start. Summerby came close. Towards half-time, though, Bury were right back in it. Will Georgie Kincladze prove to be the key in the second half? Let's rejoin our commentators, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, quite a tough task facing Manchester City if they are to win here tonight. The only time that Bury have gone behind in their last 19 league games here was on the opening day of the season against Reading. Let's hear from their manager, Stan Ternent, with Alan Bentley. Stan, a thunderous first half in more ways than one. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, it's a good match. It's tight, end-to-end stuff. We're in there with a good chance still.
Peter Swan seems to have them in the air at the back. Are you making the most of that?
Well, we've got to get a little bit more ball, really. And if we can do that, then we may just have a bit better chance of getting a goal. But we've got to keep our shape and our balance and concentration, because it's a good game for us. But we're doing very well at the moment.
Thanks a lot, Stan.
Thanks a lot.
A satisfied Bury manager. And it'll be his team to kick off in this second half.
Yeah, what we want, Rob's a nice early goal.
But who will be the provider? Peter Swan has made his presence felt up front and at the back with his clearing header off the line from Gerard Vikins. But there's no doubt that when Bury win a free kick or a long throw, Swan is the man that the City defenders are looking to, and he could cause them real problems.
Yeah, I think Simon's got to just take the responsibility to say, when the ball comes in the box, I'll have him.
In the meantime, no changes by Manchester City in terms of personnel. Lee Bradbury still ploughing that lone furrow, while Uwe Rosler waits on the bench. Here's Gordon Armstrong. Chris Lecchetti. Barely a minute into the second half, Manchester City are poised to make a change, but it's not the introduction of Uwe Rosler we're anticipating, but this man, Tony Scully, because it seems that Jason van Vleut has a problem.
I just wonder, yeah, it's interesting, the thought, you know, the substitution when they've done it at half-time, unless you're saying, look, have a couple of minutes and just see if you can run it off.
Lecchetti.
I think from a Bury point of view here, again, it's same game plan, close down, pressure, get the ball forward. Well, that's City. Come on, let's battle them for 10 minutes, take the sting out of them and let's play football.
Well, they're not going to give Jason van Vleut any more time to run off that injury, so very early in this second half, the Australian makes his departure, and Tony Scully is coming on to take his place.
Yeah, muted applause from the City fans. I'm pretty sure they were hoping maybe it was Uwe Rosler that was coming on.
Scully, the former Crystal Palace man who was signed on a free transfer. Gray. Here's Vikens. Edgehill finding Bradbury, and the return was too short. Nicky Dawes there. Cleared by Morley. There's Butler with a throw-in. Bradbury. Gray. And Kincladze looking to follow this one through, and a header away by Kiely. Gray's back pass just fell short. Brannan looking to work the opening. Cleared by Lucchetti.
Yeah, good start to the match for City. I just had a feeling there, Georgie didn't fancy that one. He's seen Kiely coming out, flying out. The little fella thought, oh, no, that's not for me.
And that's the area where he usually is dangerous, and he's brought to ground by a combination of Johnson and Hughes.
And Scully doing well there, getting between the defenders. Good start to the match for him. Now this is dangerous for City. Morley and Simons in the box along with Bradbury.
There's Summerby to Kincladze. Beyond Beacons, Morley the player coming in.
He certainly had a chance there, didn't he? Came in very late, Morley. I thought City had perhaps overdone it again with a free kick. But Kincladze, eventually when he puts it in, it's right to the far post. Morley climbs, and well, from 4 yards, you really got to hit the target there. Towers above the centre half. Kiely looks on in anguish.
Really a big, strong centre half. Challenged by Edgehill on Battersby. And here's Nicky Summerby. Kincladze.
I just felt Robbie could have given it back to Summerby there. Summerby kept his run going. Normally Kincladze's so quick to find the pass.
Summerby. Got away well from Armstrong. He ran straight into trouble. It was a good challenge from Butler.
Yeah, he just took it too far there, Summerby. Unlucky. Good defending from Butler.
Brannan. Dug out well by Dawes. This is Johnson. Swan going into the penalty area on his own.
Yeah, good defending from Dawes, but Brannan, well, you think he just won that ball. This is good end-to-end stuff. Surely a goal must come.
Well, you'd think the way the second half has started that it can't be too long before the deadlock is broken. Gray's a danger in these situations with the throw. Got Butler and Swan to aim at. Butler is the player who's gone forward, but it's a powerful figure of Morley that meets it. Gray. And they were trying to touch it down to Butler, but Hughes' intentions didn't quite come off.
Good pressure from Berry, but Morley, the young defender, making his senior debut, again with a good header. That's why he's in the side. Towering figure. A few moments ago had a chance at the other end.
Who's come through the ranks, David Morley, and on a couple of occasions has turned up in useful areas in the opposing area. Thompson's header on. And Horlock this time covering against Battersby, who's already proved what a danger he can be with the shot that hit the post in the first half. Given away by Vikens. This is Swan. Butler.
This is where City are struggling. When the ball goes up to Bradbury, he does win them. There's no one, he's isolated, there's no one around him except 3 Berry centre-halves. Someone's got to take the chance and get up alongside this fella.
Will that mean a change in direction and a change in personnel? Uwe Rosler hopes so. He's still kicking his heels. Clark, who's switched to left back since the departure of Van Blurk. Somerby. And Kiely. And around Paul Butler, who's still chasing back. Muketti across to mark him now, but still Kiely goes on. Great magic from Kiely, and he's gone down, as he does so regularly, and as he does so regularly, he's won the penalty.
Well, what can you say about this fella? He's got his doubters. People say sometimes a luxury. God, I can watch this all night. This is superb for a little fella. He's thrown me 3 dummies sitting in the seat here, and that's a penalty. Brilliant play from Kiely. Nothing on. Decides to take them all on. There's a challenge. Yeah, he does go a bit high, but you can't challenge him in the box like that. Superb.
Well, Kiely won a penalty and scored it against Sunderland in the 3-1 defeat. He's won a penalty here, and will take this, but just as there was with the corner in the first half, there's a question mark about where he's placing the ball to take it. It's Kiely against Kiely, who saved 2 penalties last season. Can he stop this one? Yes, he can! He saved a crucial one at Watford at the back end of last season, and he stopped Georgie Kiely this time.
Would you believe it?
Superb! Well, Dean Kiely has made himself even more of a hero than he was already here at Gig Lane. Kiely was certainly the man they feared coming into this game, but even from the penalty spot, Kiely denied him.
Oh, I'd have put my house on that one. But good movement from Kiely, and you have to say it's a poor penalty. Kiely going to wrong foot him. Good stop. How did I do that, he says.
Kiely has made Kiely utterly distraught. And here he goes again, trying to repair the damage.
And you, what a run it was. Oh, what a run. City fans they're astonished. How can our king miss that?
Well, even the Bury fans can admire the run now that he's missed the penalty.
This is a good contest. I'm enjoying this.
How much heart has gone out of Manchester City having seen that gift horse looked in the mouth.
Yeah, they're acknowledging the Bury fans. Dino, Dino, they're shouting. Good stop, mate.
Dean Kiely, who really has been the solid figure on which this Bury defence has been founded. Very rarely misses a game, hasn't missed one since he came to Gig Lane. And here is Kiely again, trying to make up for the frustration of that missed spot kick and taking out his frustrations in a positive manner on Andy Gray.
I tell you what, he needs a couple of cartridges after that, Andy Gray.
Here's Brannan. Cleared by John Rhodes. Simons. Edgehill. Simons again. Somerby looking to turn away from Armstrong, but Butler was covering.
Yeah, City coming on the heat now, aren't they? Come on, he said, let's get the opening goal. Growing in confidence.
You'd have thought their grip might have been loosened with the missed penalty.
Mind you, it's just spurring him up more action, isn't it? I've got a feeling Kiely's going to be a little bit more busier.
Somerby has done well to get that cross in, and Kiely relieved to see it flash in front of him.
I don't know what Kiely was doing there, to be honest. That was right across his goal line, wasn't it? Just under the crossbar. Somerby should be saying, well, come on then, Lee. You know, Bradbury, get on the end of these. It's a little bit close to the keeper. In fact, he does very well to get it in. But watch this. Over the keeper. He felt maybe it was going out. That was right along his crossbar.
Could have a word with the assistant referee. Wonder if he thought it had bent out before it came back in across the face of his goal. Gray. Oh, given away dangerously. This is Scully. too deep for Bradbury.
Yeah, he just delayed it there, Tony Scully. He gave Bradbury time to get to the far post, but in the end, when he decided to cross, he couldn't get his foot round the ball. And again, this fella starved the service. Oh, how he'd love to have one right on his forehead.
Armstrong. Johnson.
They just get pegged back now, aren't they? They're not getting any shots on the City goal or dangerous crosses in. City's work rate has been excellent too.
Well, home supporters have clearly been roused by Kiely's heroics. Armstrong. They're not going to go all the way and get the opening goal. Twice they went close in the first half, but they've not really made much of an attacking impression in this second period, Berry.
Just wonder what's come through Frank Clark's mind now. Does he keep this going? Does he leave it? Or does he say, right, it looks as if the fizz has gone out of Berry, let's maybe get another forward on. Then this argument with Rosler might be a lot deeper than what we think, Rob.
McKetty. Johnson. Useful touch. This is Swan. Johnson's continued his run. Edgehill is stuck with him. David Johnson got nothing on the shot, really.
Well, he found the space as well, didn't he?
It's a back spell from Berry now. And City's defence really under pressure. This is Nicky Dawes. And this is an excellent run that's been made by Hughes.
What a tackle by Morley this is. What a tackle from Morley. Superb. I thought Hughes was going to tuck this away. But watch the youngster. Had to make it.
It's certainly hotting up again. Both sides sensing the win is there for the taking. This is Scully.
Yeah, again, Bradbury went the far post. Tony Scully had time again, looked up. Couldn't find a blue shirt. Bradbury once again peeling away. It's a great ball from Kiely. Watch Bradbury. He's going to go near post. And the ball was on.
Now waiting for some of his corner. In it goes. Morley stuck himself right in front of the goalkeeper, who did well to get there. Edgehill. Porlock. Foul by Hughes.
I just feel City now a little bit luck in front of goal, Rob. I just feel now they could be, they're thinking about 3 points now.
Some of it. Beacons. Looking for Bradbury, who's knocked it back across to Jed Brannan. And after that desperate bit of defending, Morley tidying up against David Johnson.
Once again, Bradbury looked favourite to win that. There wasn't too many blue shots getting in that box alongside him. Only Brannan.
Armstrong. Morley. Battersby. It really is a game that could tip one way or the other. It's balanced on a knife edge at the moment. Ternent clearly wants to get on with it. Hughes with the throw. Johnson. And still, David Johnson!
Indecision in defence there. The youngster Morley making a bit of a bid there. Johnson's left foot shot just charged down. Morley just saying sorry to his keeper. Really could have done better here. A bit soft, bit watery. And Johnson lets fly.
Foiled by the deflection by Kid Simons. Bradbury's foot a little too high there on Leketti. Past the hour mark and still 0-0, but this an area where Berry could be a real danger. If Gray or Armstrong can place the free kick. The hopeful one cleared by Beacons. Andy Gray. Well, they look to cause panic and confusion every time with those high balls. Margetson had dealt with that one and now looks to cause some confusion of his own, and Bradbury is attempting to latch onto it. And there was a shove in the back of Armstrong, says referee Richards.
Yeah, it's a bit blatant, to be honest. Armstrong defending. The ball again bounces, gives Bradbury a little chance, but there's certainly a shove there.
City treating like with like, looking for the long ball to Lee Bradbury.
Yeah, he's got a bit of stick from the home fans here, Bradbury. And that's just when strikers can pop up with a goal.
Beacons from Clancy. Foul by Gray.
That could be a yellow card drop.
It is, and it's the first one of the night for Andy Gray.
Oh, you know, he's a difficult customer, Kincladsey. But when you take, when you tackle like that from behind, you're inviting the referee to reach in for the yellow card.
It is his third booking of the league season. It's actually his fifth booking overall, booked in both Coca-Cola ties as well.
He can't get the ball there, can he? You can see he sweeps through with his right foot. I'm sorry, that's a yellow.
And two more of those, and he could be facing a suspension.
Side Scully says to come on, but he's just got to get his final ball over. He's making the space for himself, but the final ball, he keeps hitting defenders.
Oh, a mistake, and Johnson could be through here, and it's 1-0 to Berry. And David Johnson takes advantage of the defensive slip, and Berry get the lead.
Well, giggling's erupted. I thought this was a free kick. I think Horlock, there's definitely contact here. And I think Horlock gets to it first. Johnson catches him there. Or does he? Once again, it's a difficult decision for the referee. Horlock complaining. Let's have a look. He's definitely there. Was it a missed kick? Johnson takes his chance over the goalkeeper. And Berry go ahead, just there, and that looks like a missed kick, and that is a goal. Berry fans ecstatic.
It's the former Manchester United man who scores against Manchester City, and David Johnson really is in excellent goal-scoring form at the moment. Kevin Horlock won't care to be reminded of that after his stumble was exploited fully. But Johnson now has scored 4 goals in his last 5 matches.
And what was Kevin Horlock thinking about there, Rob? It was such a bad clearance, I thought he had to. Johnson had to have clipped his heels. But I don't think it was contact, we've looked at it 3 times. And Kevin Horlock, well, he's got to be very, very angry with himself.
Horlock, who was switched to left back with the injury to Jason Van Bleur, clearly now must feel he's been handed a poisoned chalice. Johnson's pace took him away from the defender, and didn't he finish it well?
Oh, without a doubt, you know, out come the keeper. And he thought, right, a little lob over. Margetson, no chance.
David Johnson again. This time Horlock in the way. Clancy. Here's Scully. Bradbury's made his move in the middle. Comes back to Scully off Hughes. It's beyond Bradbury. Brannan is there. Here's Beacons! And Kiely has already been the hero once with a penalty save. Foils Beacons too.
Another good stop from the goalkeeper, because Beacons hits this sweet as a nut. Scully again, first cross hits the defender. Now He hits this beautifully. Okay, straight at Kiely, but the keeper makes it stick.
And on a night like this, when it has been raining heavily at times, hasn't always been easy. Good challenge by John Rose on Kinkladze. This is Summerby. Kinkladze's cross.
Bradbury's, again, I think Bradbury's got, he's got every chance of getting that. It was a good quality service in. And yet a Bury defender again beaten to it.
Edgehill. Bradbury wanted it played, but Edgehill thinks he can go through on his own. He's done extremely well. And it's headed away vitally by Ian Hughes.
Great play from Edgehill, and surely a blue shirt's got to be on the end of that, not a white one.
And now Gray and Kinkladze getting tangled up with each other.
Great play from Edgehill though, wasn't it? Superb run. Surely a centre-forward's got to get on the end of this. You've got to get, look, the Bury defender was down on the ground, still gets up and beats Bradbury to the ball.
Hughes was the player who got himself in the way.
I just feel Lee Bradbury, the longer he goes without a goal, sometimes, you know, you make your mind up, you get across the defender, but the defender fell down and still managed to scramble up and get in front of Lee Bradbury. He's got to get in where it hurts.
And Bury making a change, and on comes Andy Woodward, the former crewman, and he's taken the place of Tony Battersby. Woodward has slotted in on that right-hand side of midfield. This is Scully, the Manchester City substitute. Bradbury.
This will be a great victory for Bury, this one.
Well, it will be a phenomenal achievement for them, even at this stage of the season, to be right up there in the top 5 of the table. I think they were promoted from the 3rd division as the 3rd place club. They did finish champions of the 2nd division last season, and they've done it with the basis of the same team.
I'll tell you what's interesting here, Rob. Gray's on the right ding-dong with Kinkladze. And Andy Gray's already been booked. He's got to be very careful. We give him a little clip. There's a bit of lip going on as well out there. He'll love that Kinkladze. You give him the ball anywhere in that 18-yard line, he'll entice Gray into diving in.
Morley, Bradbury, there's a new man, Woodward, Hughes, and still Scully trying to match him stride for stride.
Yeah, good work from Hughes.
Well, what a priceless goal this was from David Johnson.
Yeah, it was really, you know, that is diabolical defending. You have to say that. I'm sorry, Kevin. But Johnson says, thank you very much, I'll have that one. Goalkeeper comes out in vain, that just lobs it in. Simons can do nothing.
Beautifully looped over Margetson by David Johnson. And you have to say it really is a formidable defensive record that Bury have here. 20 clean sheets they've kept in the 28 league games unbeaten here at Gig Lane. And it really is thanks to this man tonight that they've managed to preserve it so far, although there is still 18 minutes left for them to hold out. But Kiely saved the penalty from Kinkladze, and the subsequent effort from Gerard Beacons.
I just feel Rosler's got to come on now, I think. Just give them a little bit of sparkle up front. I know there's problems between the manager and the player, but it's all about getting a point or 3 points here. At the moment, Lee Bradbury, for me, is out of sorts.
Still Rosler waits. Woodward.
Summerby. Nicky Summerby started the match very well, but he's drifted in and out. City need more down this right-hand side from him.
Luchetti. Morley. Beacons. This is Edgehill. Brannan and Bradbury both going into the box. Scully in there as well. And he knocked it back, but the only player there was Andy Gray.
Well, at the edge of the box should Summerby, Beacons and Kincladze, and you can't have three outside the box. Someone's got to take a chance and get on these knockdowns.
17 minutes to go. What is Frank Clark going to do to turn this around? Does the answer to his prayers lie with a substitute that he seems reluctant at the moment to bring on, Uwe Rosler? Johnson.
Yeah, City need something. They need it quick.
Hughes. Andy Gray. Johnson. This is Woodward. Good build up this from Berry. Hughes with the throw.
I tell you what, this Berry home side, his support is fantastic. What a noise they make.
John Rose, he's got through! Good save by Margetson.
Wow, if that goes in, it's game, set and match. Margetson, anything you can do, Kiely, I can do. And John Rose worked his way in the box superbly here. Again, City a bit static. Good stop from the keeper.
Flick was by Swan, and Simon stuck himself in front of the goalkeeper. There couldn't have been a shout there. And I think he's saying you should have shouted.
Yeah, Simons was unsure where his goalkeeper was, and when you're unsure, you can't take chances. Just get it out. But this is more pressure for City to try and soak up.
It's been uncomfortable all night for the City defence with the big men going forward, and inevitably they've piled all the big guns forward for this. Swan joined by Luchetti and Butler there. There's Armstrong. Kiely offering himself to Hughes. Header away was by Edgehill. Now Bradbury. This would be the moment to make his mark. It's cleared by Woodward, but Summerby looking to get underneath it. Butler, though, again showing very strength in the air. Summerby. Clearance by Dawes. Dawes, one of the long-term survivors of Berry's great rise. Kincladze. Here's Scully. Aiming it towards Lee Bradbury!
Wow, that's better from Bradbury, and that's very unlucky. That's better. Coming across the defender. Good ball into the box from Scully. Works the space again on the right foot, curls it in. Bradbury right across the defender, and he just had to hit the target there, and that would have been his first goal. That's unlucky.
Well, he must have thought then that that was his moment. But that moment still awaits. And he's now approaching 15 hours without a goal in competitive action. Swan gets this one into Johnson, who scored already tonight. John Rose is in the box. It's blocked by Edgehill. And here goes City on the break with Scully. Bradbury and Kincladze in the box. Scully working his way through. And he hit it strongly but wide.
Oh, just for a minute there. I thought that was right in the back of the stanchion. And good play from Scully. He's done well since he's come on. Really, he's got the defender on toast there, inside, outside. And in the end, well, it's well wide, isn't it? Just on the left foot, couldn't get his foot round it. It's not a bad effort.
Good play from Scully, who, as I mentioned, was at Crystal Palace, and also amongst his X-Files. He was at Bournemouth and Cardiff on loan.
It's X-Files. Oh dear.
Starts again. More discomfort for Manchester City as Richard Edgehill not only gives away a free kick but gets booked for it as well.
It's a little bit unlucky there, Edgehill. I don't think that's a booking. Still, I'm not going to complain at our referee friends, but that was not booking.
Thought it was too good to be true.
I think he's refed it well. It's been an end-to-end game, isn't it?
Yes, he had some words of caution early on when one or two challenges were flying in, left it late before producing cards, and sensibly handled. 10 minutes to go. Berry in the driving seat. Gray with a free kick, and not one of his better ones, headed away by Brannan. Scully brought to ground by another substitute, Woodward.
Berry have got, I know they're tremendous defence, but they're really going to have to be on their toes, because City are going to take chances now. They're going to push everyone forward. And I think they've worked hard, City.
Here's Kincladze. Is he the man to find the opening? He's had the best chance so far from the spot. He's looking for Bradbury with this cross, but it's beyond him, and it took Butler to deal with it. Here's Summerby. Edgehill looking to keep the pressure on. Summerby. He's done well to get the cross in, and Butler is there.
Just needed someone to run to the near post there, try and get across Butler. And Summerby's got this knack of tight angles, and yet somehow he gets his right foot round the ball and gets him across. He just needed someone running across the near post, even just to put the defender off.
Deakins was going for it. Kincladze, big crowd ahead of him. Morley to Scully. Away from Hughes. He's won the corner off Gray.
City pushing everyone forward now. Fucking Kincladze was going to let fly there. He doesn't like giving the ball away unless he's sure. Scully's a threat on the left.
And it's Scully's corner. Oh, great header! And what a way to make your entrance! It's David Morley who scored it at a vital time for Manchester City.
Well, I just had a feeling it had to come, Rob. Intense pressure and a debut goal for Morley. Towers above the Berry defenders and plants it in the net. Good ball again from Scully. Keeper nowhere. And bang, get in there. And now Berry is backs to the wall. Curling ball from Scully. Morley with a header, downward header. 1-1.
Well, what a goal and what a moment for David Morley, unused substitute in the first couple of games of the season, given his big chance tonight because Ian Brightwell is out ill. And what a shrewd choice of replacement by Frank Clark. And now can City, having been revived by that, go all the way and win it. Morley, his nerves really must be jangling with excitement now.
He's a big lad, isn't he? And he showed the Berry defence earlier that he can leap for the ball. That's why Frank Clark played him. He's such a tall, commanding figure.
Long one for Scully. He's done well, has he, to keep it in? Yes, he has. They were appealing that it had gone out, and in the end, it's given us a goal kick.
He's definitely looked lively on that left-hand side, hasn't he? But this fella on his debut, what a feeling he must have here. Scully's wicked curling cross. Morley gets up first, does it? Even with a hand on his shoulder, Morley get up, and Butler couldn't get near him. Now the City fans really giving it plenty.
Well, Ronnie Jepson is coming on here for Bury, and the man who's been taken off is their goal scorer, David Johnson. Bury maybe thought that his goal would be enough, but they need another from somewhere now if they're to get the victory.
And Jepson might just give them some more height in offence and defence.
He's been around a bit as Ronnie Jepson, 34 years of age now, but he's an experienced campaigner. Gray. There is Jepson. Jepson and Edgehill involved in a little bit of a skirmish. Just letting Edgehill know that he's arrived. Kiely must be so disappointed, having saved the King Clancy penalty, and then to see Johnson score, they must have thought that it was another clean defensive record tonight.
They did have one off the line as well, Rob, so I think 1-1's pretty fair at the moment. I'm just thinking, who's going to get the winner? There's another goal to come.
One man who'll be hugely relieved that the equaliser is Kevin Horlock. Maybe that mistake that led to the Johnson goal won't be so costly now.
Oh, it was a howler, there's no doubt about it.
And here he is, Horlock. Scully. Bradbury. Scully again, he's deserved a goal, and he's hit the post!
Oh dear, would you believe it? So much time, the little fella.
And still the pressure on. Somerby the target this time, and he can't get there.
I'll tell you what, Bradbury done well for him there as well, Rob. With Scully, he gave him not a hospital ball, but he gave him a short pass. And Bradbury comes out, he shows, and somehow just gets there before the defender. Does well, Bradbury. But look at this, the time Scully's got now. And he goes for the near post when perhaps he should have gone for the far post. On the right foot, and he's unlucky.
Made his debut in the last game against Charlton as the substitute for Eddie McGoldrick, or in a recent game, and he's certainly really grabbed some of the limelight tonight already since his introduction. He's been seriously testing the Bury fullback. Oh, Gray, who's already been cautioned, really has to watch his step here.
There's no need for that, Michael. When you start flinging your arms about, no need at all.
King Clancy trying to torment him again, and Gray, we've already said he's walking a tightrope, and he's being called here towards Richards with the City fans imploring him to send Andy Gray off. Now, is he going to take a diplomatic decision here, or is he going to produce the second yellow card that would lead to the inevitable red?
I think Gray's lucky here. I think he's lucky there. It's because it's so close after being warned there with the arms flying. Pulling back from behind, he's a lucky man. But that's King Clancy for you. He gets a ball and he wriggles. His ability, shielding the ball, he is such a handful.
And he's a handful from free kicks, and he's poised to take this one, Georgie King Clancy. It is the Georgian, he's lined it up for Savi.
Yeah, the ball just got a little bit away from Somerby there.
And the crowd tonight, a sellout crowd, 11,216. It's the best crowd here at Gig Lane since April 1980. And they've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a cracking game.
Tell you what, they've made some noise as well, Rob. We're right above the Bury fans. Really noisy, but now it's the City fans you can hear behind both goals.
Well, they've had lean times of late, the City supporters, but they're a very loyal band. They turn out regularly at Main Road. They've got a very healthy following on their travels too. Both goals have been at their end because they're packed in behind both goals. Ronnie Jepson for the City throw. Morley. Andy Gray's ball. Summerby. This is Bradbury. This is Summerby. Cleared by Lucchetti. Bury have to get this away anywhere. They're hanging on a bit for the point at the moment. This is Horlock. And here's Kincladze to try his trickery once more.
Tell you what, Horlock was in the box as well, all alone. Kincladze, I'm not sure if he tried the little clip.
Handball given against David Morley. Fitzsimons. And Kincladze just unable to keep it in play.
I tell you what, Rob, man of the match is always difficult. Now, this fella, I'm sick of giving him it, to be honest. He's showed us some sparkle again. And Kiely in goals. Kiely, I should say, he's been superb. But I'm going to give it a young centre-half who's brought City back into the game. On his debut, well done, son.
David Morley, a night to remember for him. Hughes. Well, Frank Clark can be grateful for the decision that he made today. He can smile now. It's been a nervous night for City. Stan Ternent, I wonder if he thought the points had been sewn up when David Johnson scored that goal. Both goals in the second half. Very pressing for a late winner, and Edgehill pushes that out. Little shove in the back from Peter Swan.
He's a mean-looking customer, isn't he? He's worked hard, though. Won a lot of the aerial battles first half, Peter Swan.
We're into stoppage time. Here's Kincladze. Horlock had been trying to set Brannan away.
Yeah, I think on reflection, perhaps City maybe a little bit unlucky not to get all 3 points, but Bury worked so hard first half. There's not many teams are going to come and win here.
Well, they've got great resolve, and they're hoping that that spirit will help them to consolidate in the First Division this season against the teams with greater spending power. Kincladze, Gray, Butler, Morley, Edgehill, Summerby. Here's Kincladze, Morley, number 5, Fitzsimons. Just going to be trying a 1-2 with the referee, but it's broken for Bury, and free kick for the foul on John Rose. On John Rose by Beacons.
Yeah, I think Bury can hold their heads up. Hold them up high. You think the money City have spent? And this fella, well, he's worked miracles.
Well, Horlock has conceded the corner, and he's already got horrible memories of one incident tonight with a goal from David Johnson. And this could well be Bury's last opportunity to rescue 3 points.
There's a sting in the tail yet.
Jepson's in there.
So too is Butler, all the big danger men. And that's a disappointingly wasteful corner from Berry's viewpoint. It's such a late stage in the game. May not be over yet. Yes, it is. So Stan Ternent's Berry continue their formidable home record. 29 league games here unbeaten. Shake of the hand there with Frank Clark, relieved to emerge from this game with a point after Berry had taken the lead through David Johnson in the second half. But the hero of the night, David Morley, on his senior debut, only picked because Ian Brightwell was ill, and he turned up with 9 minutes to go to head in the equaliser from a corner. Dean Kiely disappointed to be beaten by that, having earlier saved a penalty from Kincladze and saved two from Beacons in open play. Really, it looked as though that penalty save would be the turning point of the game in Berry's favour. Turned out not to be, though. Kincladze was the man who won it after Lecchetti and Gray had converged in on him, but Kincladze unusually saw his spot kick saved by Dean Kiely. Kiely, though, beaten by that late equaliser after Berry had given themselves such real hope there. Johnson capitalising on Horlock's mistake and finishing brilliantly. And the home team will be disappointed to have been undone by a set piece. Morley knocking in the corner for the equaliser. Berry won, Manchester City won the final score here at Gig Lane.
A classic derby encounter, the honours even thanks to our commentators Rob Hawthorne and Alan Brazil. Still to come tonight at 10 o'clock over on Sky Sports 1. All the day's news and weekend football previews in the Sports Centre. There's USPGA Golf here on Sky Sports 2 with day 2 of the CBS Charity Classic. And over on Sky Sports 3, wrestling action in WWF Raw. Still to come before we go off the air, the story of the match, reaction from the two camps, and a look ahead to tomorrow's Division 1 action.
Music! The phenomenon. You a cop? Pamela Anderson leads.
See a badge?
Is about to become a whole new force.
You really know your stuff, mate.
To be reckoned with.
Don't call me babe.
The first female.
What are you doing?
Action hero.
Ever see Batman?
Means business.
Let's go.
Her sizzling movie debut.
I'm falling in love.
Get in line.
Barbed Wire premieres 10 o'clock Saturday on the Movie Channel.
Very well done.
Can we help?
1,000 thank yous. Please do me the honor of visiting my humble home.
His humble home.
My home is yours. My attendants will see to your every wish.
This is unbelievable.
I don't care what it takes. I want them for my wives.
I thought you just met him. I want him for my wives. In his dreams.
If the Sheikh wants them for his wives, the Sheikh has them for his wives.
Gone? Was it something I said?
Peugeot, the drive of your life. Daily Star.
Bottle openers, welcome. This is V2. That's a lie. This is V2. The bottle just comes with it. This is where your money's going. And it's money well spent. Books should not be bought for their covers. Don't you wonder sometimes?
What do you all think I'm going to do? We just...
I will go with you.
Blockbuster have loads more copies of Jerry Maguire than anyone else. So if we don't have it when you come in, next time you can rent it free. And that's a promise. Blockbuster. Entertainment in every sense.
Dying moment.
one last attack. Shearer setting off through the centre. Long ball to Shearer. Shearer! An unbelievable goal!
Lucas Aid Sport is designed for top athletes. It delivers fluid and energy fast, so I'm always ahead of the game.
Why worry about your diarrhea attack coming back? With just one dose of Imodium, you could stop diarrhea and get on with your day. Imodium.
Adidas. Feel the energy. Why not call now for a hot and fresh Domino's pizza? With our delicious melted cheese baked only with fresh dough, piled high with your favourite choice of toppings, you'll get a savoury taste sensation, slice after slice. Why not call now for a large Domino's pizza, delivered hot and fresh to your door for just $8.99? See Skytext page 175 for your nearest store.
Kellogg's Sustain is the only cereal specifically designed for sportsmen like Henman. Serve after serve after serve. And that winning blend of light flakes, juicy raisins, almonds and apple does help keep you going every morning. Go the distance with Kellogg's Sustain.
So because this 106 comes with totally free insurance and I'm making a lot of dosh, I thought I'd buy another 20 and save even more.
Nice one.
Yeah.
The Greater Manchester derby has ended 1-1. Has it also signalled the end of Uwe Rosler's Manchester City career? Only a sub tonight. He didn't come on, but he did go over to the City fans at the end. Was he, I wonder, saying goodbye? Looks like it. And they'll be very sorry to see him go. Everton, the firm favourites to sign the German striker. Here are the match facts, and what a match it turned out to be. 1 goal apiece, David Johnson putting the home side in front, but then the 19-year-old debutant, David Morley, equalising for City late on. They had more attempts at goal, 5 apiece on target, more corners by far for the visitors. Couple of bookings in the second half. Andy Gray, a little lucky to last the full 90 minutes. Richard Edgehill was the Manchester City player to see yellow. Here are the match facts. In the first half, Manchester City dominated in terms of possession. It was dead level as far as the attacking thirds of the field were concerned. And as the match continued, so City's dominance in terms of possession continued. 61% throughout the game. And the attendance, 11,216, the biggest for 17 years. We can now hear from one of the key men tonight, the Bury goalkeeper, Dean Kiely.
Dean, a normal day at the office for you then?
Yeah, I mean, pleased with our performance. I thought the lads put up a good show. You know, we had our battle plan and we stuck to it, and I think we made it difficult for them. We've got an unbeaten home record, and I think you can see why.
When we spoke to Stan Ternent in the week, he said you can compete with anyone, irrespective of finances and the like. I think you showed that.
I like to think so. I think apart from money, when you're a professional footballer, you have commitment and passion, and the squad we've got here have all got that. So.
You saved 2 penalties last season, 1 this. What's the secret?
I don't know. It's deja vu, I think, but I don't know. No secret. You pick away and happy to save it.
And in case you see him in the bar, Alan Brazil said he put his house on King Gladys scoring.
Did he really? Well, he had a go at me last year when we played Burnley, so it's no surprise, but not sorry.
Thanks a lot, Dean.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Key part of the Bury success, and the main reason perhaps why our 2 experts in the studio tonight didn't get their predictions absolutely right. Paul Walsh and Steve McMahon were both tipping Manchester City before the game. I suppose in the end, City a little unlucky. I'm sure they'll go home tonight thinking they should have taken all 3 points.
I think so, especially with the penalty miss. But all credit to Bury. They stuck at it and they worked very hard, and it was a triumph for hard work tonight.
Well, here are the match highlights, and it really was a very topsy-turvy first half. Neat little attempted back heel from Peter Swan there. It was hard, Paul, in the first half to tell who was on top, because City had a bright spell, and then Battersby inspired Bury there.
That's right, hit the post there, and yeah, I think both sides had their chances and the game could have gone either way.
keeper was definitely beaten.
I think we've missed the best opportunity early on. The first minute, I really do, when Summerby could have actually scored. If his first touch was spot on, he could have opened the scoring.
Well, Manchester City gradually grew stronger as the match developed. And Gerard Vikins denied here by Swan, this time on his own goal line.
That's a great goal line clearance, yeah.
Yeah, struck it ever so well, and he's done well to clear it off the line.
Well, he's been a key performer for Bury this season, Swan, be it as a defender or up front. Gradually, though, the home side started to assume some control, and David Johnson, we pinpointed him before the game, Paul, former Manchester United player, he was lively throughout.
That's right, I think he was. I think he was their most threatening player throughout the game. Ended up getting the goal, as we'll see in a minute. But, you know, he had a few efforts at goal. This is a brilliant piece of skill, though, from Georgie Kincladze. I thought we had a very average game overall, but, you know, if you're looking for a highlight in a game, you know, what he's done here is brilliant to get the penalty.
And no doubt that it was a penalty.
It's not a penalty, of course, yeah, you know, there's 2 or 3 occasions he's screaming to shoot, and all of a sudden he's got a penalty out of nothing. So, yeah, and obviously it's a back pass, isn't it, the penalty? So,
it's a former player of yours, Herbert, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, it's typical, you know, he's trying to clear it with his right foot. I thought he could have had a bit more time instead of slashing at it.
Yeah. Well, he's one of City's most consistent players as well, and
well, Kevin is always going to give you that consistency. It doesn't matter what position he plays, and that's why I think City have got a good buy in Kevin.
Well, we said when City went behind it was going to be a big test of their character. Would they just buckle? Could they fight back? But to their credit, they did continue to create chances, though at the same time, Bury themselves could have made the game safe.
That's right, they had an opportunity. I think that was John Rose. Yeah, City kept going, and you know, all credit to them for that. Bradbury there going close with a header. I think he desperately needs a goal just to get his confidence back and getting, you know, his all-round game to improve. And then David Morley there, great for the young lad.
Yeah, he's in where it hurts, really.
Did either of you ever score in your City debuts?
No chance, no. I didn't score too many. I think you can't blame the Bury defence there, I think, because it's such a quality ball in. You know, we tend to not like defenders for not picking up properly. But when you get quality of likes of that, then you can't defend against it.
I think he deserves a mention as well. Scully, I thought he came on and
made a difference,
brightened the game up a bit. Yeah,
definitely made a difference. Here are the league standings now. Manchester City stay where they were in 16th place. Now, if Bury had won tonight, they would have gone up to 5th in the table, ahead of Steve McMahon's Swindon. Let's see what the point does. It takes them up 1 to 6th, but they're still just tucked in behind Steve McMahon's side. I think they'd have settled for that at this stage in the season. We can now join the Manchester City manager, Frank Clark. He's waiting to talk to us live. Good evening, Frank.
Hello.
Well, what do you say about that one in the end?
Well, we're disappointed that we haven't won the game. We thought we got right on top in the second half rather. Got it down and passed it and had some chances. But, you know, Bury battled away very well, made it very difficult for us, and they had a chance or two. I mean, I thought it was a very entertaining game. A good game for the spectators, but we were a little bit disappointed that we haven't won it.
I imagine that you were very upset when you went behind, because in the period leading up to the opening goal, you certainly did seem to have your noses very much in front.
Yeah, I thought that was probably our best spell of the game, and I felt we could go on and win it from there. But full credit to the boys, he put the goal in well, but we didn't buckle, Marcus, afterwards. You know, we've got a bit of character and steel in the team, and we fought our way back in it, and as I say, we could have won it in the end.
And quite a debut for the 19-year-old.
Yeah, marvellous for young David to get on and score a goal. But it was a great delivery. When Tony Scully got on the corner, I'm saying to myself, well, this can go anywhere. And it finished up in the back of the net, fortunately.
I must just ask you about, firstly, Bradbury and then Uwe Rosler. Bradbury, obviously, is absolutely desperate for a goal. He didn't have too many looks in tonight.
No, he didn't, but he worked very hard for the team, and that's all we ask of him. He'll get a goal soon, and once he gets one, then he'll be off.
And you left Rosler on the bench. He didn't come on, and at the end, we saw him go over to the Manchester City supporters, and it rather looked to us as though he was saying goodbye.
Well, you can put any interpretation on that you want. Uwe always goes in, that acknowledges the supporters every game we play. He didn't play tonight because the shape that we had at Nottingham Forest worked very well for us, and he didn't expect to play. And we didn't want to throw him on because it meant disturbing the shape. So don't go reading things into it that aren't there.
OK, so as far as you're concerned, what is the latest situation regarding Rosler? I know you've had to speak about this before, but just put us in the picture.
Well, Uwe is considering the offer that the club have made to him. We had a long discussion with him and his agent at the beginning of the week. We've made him an offer. He's thinking about it, and hopefully we can, we'll get down and talk about it on Monday.
OK, Frank, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Mark.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks.
Manchester City with 4 points from their last 2 away games. There was one other Nationwide League match tonight. That was in the 3rd division. And Tony Locke scored the only goal of the game just 3 minutes from time to give Colchester victory against Scarborough, who could have gone top, but obviously they've missed out on that opportunity. Here's how the table looks. No change in the bottom half. Up at the top, Colchester, who've had 2 good home wins this week, have moved up 7 places to 5th, and Scarborough dropped down to 7th. Well, let's just have a quick word with our 2 guests about the Rosler situation. Steve McMahon, briefly, do you think he is definitely on his way?
I wouldn't like to say, to be honest with you. He's been unsettled for quite a while now. And as Frank said, I wouldn't read too much into him waving to the crowd, because he does that all the time. He's been doing that for a long while.
Paul?
It's difficult to say. I mean, Frank Clark's saying there that there's an offer on the table for him. I mean, is there a firm bid from any club on the table for him as well? I mean, there's got to be a bid for him to go somewhere else. So it's difficult to say if those 2 things haven't happened.
OK, Paul, thanks very much for joining us. Likewise, Steve, good luck for Swindon against Tranmere tomorrow. Just before we go, a look at what else is coming up on Sky Sports Sunday, 12 o'clock, another great match in the Nationwide League. It's Birmingham against Sunderland from St Andrews on Sky Sports 2. Birmingham in particular in terrific form at the moment. And then at 3 o'clock, Super Sunday, Blackburn, who've begun the Premiership campaign in such impressive form, take on Leeds United at Ewood Park, and you can see the whole of that match on Sky Sports 1. So plenty to look forward to. The Bury Fortress has remained unbreached tonight, but having gone behind to a strike from a former Manchester United player, City, and in particular their 18-year-old debutant David Morley, have emerged with more than most. Good night.
Still gonna get you. Strangers on a train driving through the night soon overtakes you. If someone feels the same as you, you might as well just do what you wanna do. There ain't no point holding back desire. Don't waste your time, 'cause everything is out there, and there's no limits out there. We could be reaching out for anything if we try enough. Let the daylight in on a better day. It's been too long, we've been living under a ring by daylight in on a better day. It's been too